great Ira Thor. He can control many things, but he can't control the weather. He'll be with us shortly, but to get started, I mean, what an exciting weekend we have, Nick. I mean, what are your thoughts going into our championship event?
Well, I think it's like a perfect culmination of everything, right? We had 2 events this season. We get that all-star match. We've been doing everything we can to up the broadcast, bring the instant replays. The teams are playing the best volleyball we've seen all season long, and now we get to bring it to ESPN3. I mean, this is just the absolute kicker. I cannot wait for these 8 matches.
And so this event will be all the days, all the matches streamed on ESPN3. If you have a smartphone or smart TV, the ESPN app, download it, log in with your internet or cable provider, and either search NVA or just go to the volleyball tab. It'll be under there. And Matt, you've caught a lot of volleyball in your day. Playoffs are always a different animal. What are you expecting from the atmosphere and from these teams now that it's do or die?
Well, this is really where the rubber meets the road, right? All 8 teams that have qualified for this weekend are playing today with, again, the goal of getting to that championship match on Sunday and then hoisting that trophy over their heads and calling themselves to be a champions.
We have our quarterfinals today, semifinal matches on Saturday, and our third place and our first place championship match on Sunday. Today we have 4 matches, as I said. So starting with the OC Stunners and Utah Stingers at 9. Moving on to the Texas Tyrants and Southern Exposure at noon. New Jersey Freedom, Dallas Commanders at 3. And then Las Vegas Ramblers and LA Blaze close out for the night at 6 p.m. Let's go to that first match. We have the Stunners and Utah Stingers. Stunners are 7-3. They were second in the National Coastal, third overall in the National Conference. Stingers 6-4, first in the American Central, second overall in the American. This is, I mean, all these matches are great in the playoffs. This might be our match today to start us out.
Oh, for sure. And it's one of those things you look at it, this is a tale as old as time. Back in 2020 when the Utah Stingers first made their appearance in the NBA, we had a one long weekend. It was our COVID season essentially, and that's where Utah Stingers came out and took down the OC Stunners in the championship match. So the following year, now we see the Stunners take down the Ramblers, with the Ramblers beating Stingers right in that top 3. So the last 2 seasons, it's been Stingers, Stunners, Ramblers, and then you throw them in a box, shuffle it up, and see who comes out on top between those in the top 3. This is the first season in the last 3 years that one of Stunners or Stingers are guaranteed not to make a top 3. I can't wait to see how that unfolds. But man, when I look at this match here, I don't know who I'm going to pick. You look at, Stingers, not notoriously the best server. You look at the Stunners, every guy over there is cranking jumpsuits. Both these teams are the best blocking teams in the league, but it really comes to who's going to be on the field playing today. Stunners, you've experienced it firsthand, some trials and tribulations with the personnel on the court. But when it comes to the Stingers, they're trending upwards. If you've learned one thing, it is very clear. If you're betting against the Stunners, it's generally a very bad one. So it leaves us in an exciting spot to start off.
I mean, it's 2 teams, just a ton of talent, a ton of experience. Like you said, who's on that court, who shows up, who's kind of consistent all the way through that match. It's something both teams have struggled a little bit with this for most past years, just being there first point to last. Moving on to our next match of the day, we have the Texas Tyrants and Southern Exposure. Now, Texas, they were first in National Central, second in the overall National Conference, only to New Jersey Freedom. Meanwhile, Southern Exposure just kind of squeaking into these playoffs, 4-6 on the year, second in the American Coastal, third overall in the American Conference. What do you expect from this match?
Well, this will be a good one, right? Southern Exposure, sort of whipped their way into the quarterfinals. Really kind of relied on some other factors to qualify, not playing kind of the best brand of volleyball throughout the end of those kind of regular season events. They have the pieces there, but some injuries, getting the right players involved in the right weekends. Meanwhile, for the Tyrants, I mean, they have really shown that they're a powerhouse out of Texas. However, they won't have Austin Lovett, one of their best middles, who is injured with that ankle injury that he sustained before the last event. So that's a big miss for them, but they're going to rely heavily on Jake Benloy and Gianluca Grasso to do what they do from the outside as usual. So it should be a very exciting match, too. Extremely entertaining teams to watch, and 2 very different systems as well. So it's going to be a good matchup.
I think this Tyrants team is a team that started off so hot. It's kind of the team we were talking about the first couple of events. Teetered off in terms of our radar, but they're 9-1. They only have 1 loss, 5 setters, 2 So I think with Jake Benloy back, this is a team that's going to remind us today why they are a top team in this league, even though we've put them on the back burner. I'm excited. Southern Exposure is always just a ton of fun.
They really are. One thing I want to know, because of the enormity of this event, there was a special exception rule that every team was granted the ability to bring in a player that has not played with the team to make sure the roster was in full form. So as a result, we kind of look across which teams have brought players in. Most notably so far, I think, is that Stunners with missing Randy Ramirez. We're going to have a new set of training on the team for the last 2 months. But then we were talking exposure. They're bringing in UCLA outside hitter Sam Berge. The fun note here, Berge will be going overseas and a teammate of Gianluca Grosso and a Tel Aviv Maccabi in Israel. So those guys, before they play a full season together, they're going to go head-to-head and start us off here.
And I think adding almost this wild card element for bringing that other player can really shake things up and kind of shatter expectations for what you have about this certain team based on how they gel and perform when the moment matters most.
It really does.
And performing when it matters most, the New Jersey Freedom have performed all regular season long. 10-0, the perfect regular season. And that comes to playoffs. That's a different story. And they're facing Dallas Tornadoes, the team that kind of limped their way into the playoffs. But they have arguably the most dangerous player in the Players Chapter. It's sort of a classic matchup of the best team on paper versus maybe the best player on paper. What are you expecting?
Well, first and foremost, we got to give a shout out. Team Freedom, first 10-0 team that we've ever had in the NBA. Secondly, we've got to know they're missing Ian Cap on the outside, not Elias Setting. So on the outside, we're looking at Daniel Venegas. We're going to be looking at Jake Milnazic and Tim Farragut. So that's the three that they've got to pick two to get the job done. Now, Ryan Kinney will take the helm as the center. All four of those guys have stepped in, played all season long. So if you're a Freedom fan, don't be too stressed out yet. But it is certainly noteworthy when you've got a guy that put up 36 kills earlier this season on the other side of the court. Felix Chapman's got Peter Knoll this weekend. He's going to have Sam Schuldenberg. We're going to see Grosh in the middle and Chico for him. They're going to be in full force. So that squad, that's going to be one of those, you don't want to, it's hard to predict the upset, but I think if there's one that somehow could happen, that's maybe where it really lies.
Absolutely. One thing about this Freedom is their depth has been their strength all year. So if you see this team, you're not worried about missing players in here. Those are two all-stars. An all-star setter, he's also outside, which, Ian Cap is so much, he might be the most complete player in the league. So taking that away, knowing the depth they have, they can fill in nicely. Those are irreplaceable guys.
They are. But the one thing I didn't talk about is the Joe Norris man on the right side. Joe Norris had a fantastic season. Yeah, American headband says it all. Plays with a lot of pride, a lot of power, and he's been a top 5 kill leader all season long. So even with a couple guys missing, I anticipate that Freedom's just going to slot in. They've always said next man up. So Norman on the right side, expect to see, I would say, 20 plus kills in that set. That's what he's got to do for them to get that win.
That's our first 1 versus 4 seed matchup. Our last one at 6 p.m. is our Las Vegas Ramblers taking on the LA Blaze. LA Blaze, again, another team that's sort of the top heavy and bottom heavy aspect of the playoffs that reps and wins, led into the playoffs. Matt, what do you expect these Blaze to do?
Well, LA Blaze against the Las Vegas Ramblers, the nightcap. I mean, it's going to be, I think, a very heavily one-sided match. The Ramblers just so much firepower, so explosive. Brendan Rattray, Ryan Mather, guys from the middle. LA Blaze, they're finding themselves. They have their own dynamic, players as well, but it's just going to be a very entertaining match to finish on the court.
Let's get into the favorite part. We've been making predictions all season long. Some of us have missed a couple here and there about who we think is going to win. Now is when it really matters here. I'll read the standings. Ira, he's not here quite yet, is in the lead, 38-10, 792% of those picks. Nick, second, 750, 36-12. Matt, 33-15, 688. I missed a couple matches. My percentage is actually the same as Nick's at 750, but I'm only 18-6. So I don't know if I'm counting the final thing, but so that's where we're sitting at right now. Let's go over our picks now for our first day in the NVA Championship weekend. Nick, we'll start with you. Stunners and Stingers, probably the toughest one.
It is, I've been thinking about this last, I don't know, trying to figure this out. This is my most exciting match of the day for sure. I think at the end of the day, I can't bet against the Stunners. I gotta believe that the team that won it all last year, regardless of the personnel, that they're going to show up and find a way to win.
gotta take my guys stunners all the way.
Didn't see that.
Easy for me.
I've got Ira's picks for him. He is also picking the stunners. It's so hard for me to bet against the stunners. That Hilly and Midwestern never want to bet against them. I know you're short. And the Stingers are one of these teams that are trending upwards. And they've got leadership and veteran ability in Russell and Mency. So to the upset of the day with the Stingers.
Wasting no time to get spicy.
Let's get right to it. Okay, Matt, next match, Tyrant Southern School.
Another easy one for me. This will be the Tyrants.
I'm going to agree with you there. And Ira has the same thing, Tyrants.
Gotta go Tyrants.
All right, moving on, our 1v4, first one, New Jersey Freedom. Dallas Tornadoes all started off. I think even with the players they're missing, I think the Freedom is the more good team to take this one.
Yeah, I mentioned this is a chance for the upset, but at the end of the day, if I was betting against Freedom here, that's the wrong thing. They've got the guys, they're going to show up, they're going to make happen.
Yeah, there's too many weapons on the Freedom side. Felix Chapman, yeah, can carry his team, but the experience together is a great team.
Ira took the Freedom as well. Last match of the night, Nick, the Ramblers, the LA Blaze.
Man, I was losing sleep. I was up till 2 o'clock this morning. You know, you got to respect LA Blaze. They haven't been on a hot streak, but that always a new streak starts any given match. So definitely got to respect them. I think our boys are going to come out with that firepower. Yeah, Las Vegas Ramblers.
Ramblers as well.
I think Blaze will keep it fun. It might be the best game played this season. Right? The Ramblers are just too bad. Ira is picking the Ramblers as well. So those are our picks. I'm the only one upset. He's picking the Stingers over the Stunners. And, you know, that one's really a coin toss, I think. Just two teams with a lot of talent and veteranship ability that who's going to pull it out.
It's definitely exciting to see, and it's almost a bummer the way that those two teams seeded out. But that's our 9 a.m. So everyone's at the office right now. You know, maybe it's a slow Friday. You're flipping it on your second monitor, and that's a great way to watch it. But this is definitely one you want to tune in on the ESPN app and check out the archive. Check out all matches that have been live streamed there after the match.
Absolutely. A ton of great matches. Quarterfinals today. Moving on to the semis tomorrow, Saturday, and then the third place and championship match on Sunday. Tune in at 9 a.m. to see tip-off of the first match. We'll see you there.
welcome to the Sports Center. You're watching the National Volleyball Association. I'm Nick England, and we've got 8 exciting matches coming to you all weekend live in San Bernardino, California, as we decide who the 2022 NVA champion is. If you haven't been able to tune in thus far, we've had 12 teams competing over the last 4 months, 60 matches over 5 events to get down to this. 8 teams have qualified for the quarterfinal match every 3 hours live on ESPN here today. Up first, the OC Stunners take on the Utah Stingers. Utah Stingers come in as the first bid from the American Central Division, finishing at 6-4, while the OC Stunners finished at 7-3, locking in the second position in the National Coastal Division. On the side of the Utah Stingers, they're riding a bit of a high off a fresh win the last event, and they won the 2020 matchup against this Stunners squad. However, Stunners are the defending 2021 champions, so definitely a lot on the line, a bit of a grudge match for these two teams. If you're brand new to the league, you don't know what you're checking out, tons of exciting names. Utah Stingers owned and headed by captain, man that does it all, Olympian Russ Holmes, so he'll be getting down and dirty on the court here today, and we're going to hear from him in just a moment with our sideline reporter, Noah Chat. So just stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, get ready as these teams go head to head. Noah's looking like he's ready on the sideline. Noah, we're going to throw it over to you guys. Take it away.
Thank you, Nick. Like you said, coach, player, manager, Russ Holmes joining me now. And Russ, there's a lot of history between these two teams who played each other a lot, defending champions. How much does that factor into your game plan for today?
Yeah, like you said, there's history there. We know each other pretty well. I think at the end of the day, we're just going to go out there and compete. Focus. And I think just execute on the things that we've been working on. Event after event, slowly getting better. We've got a full squad here this weekend, so we're fired up.
Your team has really churned and gotten better as the season has gone on after a rough start. How important is that rolling into a do-or-die weekend?
I think it's crucial. Momentum is everything in this game, and so I feel like we've got that on our side. We're feeling pretty good. Like I said, we got a full squad and full strength, and so with the experience that we have on our team with a couple of our veterans, we're pretty excited to get after it together.
Full squad is such a great point. The Stunners missing a few key players. How do you capitalize on that advantage?
At the end of the day, we're going to focus on our side of the net, taking care of the ball, take care of our serve and pass to receive, and not worry too much about what's going on the other side. Just be disciplined, play disciplined volleyball. So.
And your player, you've been around the block. You've been in some important matches. What's different when it comes to that do-or-die championship playoff atmosphere?
I think that experience just helps a lot in those environments, those championship moments, and so we've got a few veterans that have been there before and seen these moments, and so I think it helps a lot. Just calm those nerves. Haven't been there before, so.
See some vintage Russ out there?
I don't know. Stay tuned.
Yeah. We'll have to stay tuned to see some vintage Russ. Nick, I'll send it back to your way.
Well, we hope to see veteran and return from the powerhouse he's had an excellent return to form after not playing last season. The team needs to make that return to the court, step up and deliver. He has definitely done that. Participated in our inaugural 2022 NVA All-Star event and showcased he is ready to still compete and hang with the best. However, when we look on the other side of the court, we're looking at the OC Stunners and a group of guys that last year showcased what it really means to have been there before. You look at names like Matt West, Nick West, Matt Hilling. You across the board, those guys have played in leagues all over the world. Corey Chambers, one of the best outside hitters who's played with Team USA in years prior to this event. These guys have seen it at the top level. And when it comes to push to shove, they really know how to trade blows. Looking across the net, though, that has always been a strength of this Utah Stingers squad. A couple guys that are a little bit older, a couple guys that bring that fresh little bit of energy, a very BYU-centric squad. They're kind of very much of that hive mind, if you don't mind the pun. The OC Stunners last year shocked the Ramblers in a 3-0 blowout in the final in a way that really showcased what the guys can do that don't get starstruck in that moment. Las Vegas Ramblers we'll see later on this weekend, trying to hope kind of shore up those changes in the offseason. But the Stunners short-handed here today. We'll see if the men on the court are enough to get the job done. Excited to see what they're able to do. We're going to have coach, broadcaster, and another man that does it all. Matt Prosser on the sideline with Noah Chow, giving us a little bit of insight. While they're short-handed, what is this team going to do to make sure they have the punch to get through this tough match? Noah, take it away.
And as we mentioned, missing a couple of key guys. What's the game plan to kind of work around that?
Well, we've known for a few weeks that we were going to be missing Joey and Randy, and so we're going to have a new setter today, Nacho, from Argentina. He's been with the team for a few weeks, and actually has been here for the last two events, but hasn't been able to participate. So he's been in our practice gym, and I have full faith that he's going to be just fine today.
How difficult is it to kind of acclimate the quarterback of your offense and the setter in an event like this?
I just told him to go out and have fun. Play free. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Don't worry about anything else. Just go play your game. Be as comfortable as possible. Again, he's had a few good weeks of practice in our gym, and so again, I have full faith in what he's going to be able to do for us today.
Stunners, the defending 2021 champions, played great at your highest highs. One of the best and most talented teams in the league. Dropped a couple you might want to have back. How do you hit the reset button and go into this championship event with a new mentality?
Well, it's win or
go home, and so we got to come out and set the bar high. We got to put service pressure on the other team right out of the gate, which is hopefully what we're going to be able to do, and just play our style of volleyball, which is very exciting, very dynamic, very explosive, and come out of the gate strong and set the bar high and maintain that level.
This Stingers team, another former champion, tons of talent, tons of experience, and they're getting hot at the right time. How did you prepare to face this Utah squad?
Well, we obviously know that they're very experienced team from all areas on the court, whether it's setting, outside hitting, and middle. Like, they have great experienced players, and they're very dynamic as well. So, we did some scouting, some shot charts to prepare, and I think we know what their tendencies are going to be, and it's just a matter of making sure that we execute on our side.
There's one key for you to win this match. What is it?
Pressure from the inline. Just tough serving and try to get them out of system, and then good solid blocking defense for us.
Tough serving can change the whole mentality now of a match. Coach Matt Prosser of the OC Stunners giving us the outlook for today's match. Nick?
Well, he said it at the end right there. There's two things to focus on, and this is exactly what I was thinking when I'm making my prediction. I'm looking at the end line pressure, and if you're not familiar with either of these teams, it could not be a more polar opposite story. Utah Stingers, low error, high percentage in the court, relatively easy serves. The most aggressive serves are going to be outside hitters, Tonga, as well as Noble Romero. The rest of the guys expect some aggressive float serves, but high consistency. They want to play the point. You look across the net, however, OC Stunners, they're all about rip it, and aggressive jump serving. It's the true USA volleyball style of playing the game. Expect to see jump serve change. Jair Santiago, one of the biggest serves in the league. You know that Matt Milling will be jump serving as well. And Nick West has been one of the most aggressive and high-scoring servers in the league. So when you kind of do that look across, the service line is what it's all about. Now, when you look at the blocking, I've said his name all day long. Nick West is the man to look at. He's one of our block leaders here in the NVA, and arguably the best middle blocker in the league. On the right side, though, for the Stingers, George Mencia may not always have the largest physical block, but he's got some of the most disciplined hands, and he is very good at controlling the outside hitters. So will he be enough to put a plug in the offensive firepower of Corey Chavers and Matt Milling? Definitely going to be something to keep an eye on here, as well as his offensive productivity. He certainly doesn't put the ball away with the same ferocity that we've seen from Jair Santiago. But don't worry when you're looking on that stat chart where it really matters on paper. He's just as effective. So that's going to be something that we want to keep our eyes on as this match unfolds. We're going to be taking a quick break as we get ready for this match. We have a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We're just about to get underway. OC Stunners, Utah Stingers. We're having a couple technical difficulties, so if that's coming through in your audio, don't worry, it's being addressed currently. But in the meantime, getting ready to see these squads all get into the action. Arguably the most exciting match of the weekend. As far as we can see from the get-go here, both of these teams are teams that you would normally expect to see in the semifinals or further. However, sometimes you gotta play the hand you're dealt, with Team Freedom coming in, going 10-0 with the only undefeated season, they knocked down this OC Stunners squad to second place in their division, being that the Stunners were the third place bid out of the National Conference. Teams are now shaking hands, getting ready to get underway. And that means it's almost time for the game to begin, and history to be made, as we're here live on ESPN3 with the National Volleyball Association. Just a reminder, I'm Nick England. You've got Noah Chapp joining me on the sideline. Coach Matt Prosser will be joining us as well throughout the weekend. And our fourth man on the broadcast, Iris Thorne, controls, as Noah said, many things, but weather is not one of them. We've done a ton of work to make this weekend happen. So excited to have him joining us later on today. But in the meantime, we're getting ready for these lineups taking the side of the OC Stunners. No real surprises given that they're a little short-handed on the staff there. We're going to see Corey Chavers as well as Matt Hilling on the outside. Jair Santiago on the right side. Nick West in the middle. Opposite him will be Shane Beamer. At the setting position, we're going to see Nacho Roberts, Ignacio, and Dylan Shigakawa wearing the black jersey. On the side of the Utah Stingers, Sean Dennis in the middle. Russ Holmes in the middle, Noble Romero, as well as Storm Patunga on the outside. Chandler Ball wearing the libero jersey on the right. Reed Chilton taking the center position. First server will be the OC Stunners. Matt Hilling lineups are currently getting checked. Just a recap from the predictions of the sideline crew. Three of us taking the OC Stunners to win this one, but Noah Chapp taking I don't even know but taking the Utah Stingers. What are you feeling about that one, Noah?
Well, on paper, record-wise, yes, it is technically an upset. But I mean, I think this is more of a coin toss than anything. And I was thinking about the Stingers a lot. I really wanted to go with them. And then my gut told me, you know what, Stunners is a deeper team, more talented team. But then I figured out about their losses. No Joey Jarvis. I mean, they're missing their main setter. I think the Stingers are getting hot at the right time, and they're a team that can sneak up on you. Especially with the Stunners squad, we've seen it. They're talented, but Nick, there's a lot of ego on this team. And if things don't go their way early, they can very easily crumble upon themselves. And that's something that the Stingers' cool, experienced mentality could take advantage of. So are they going to blow them out? No, but that's the reason why I took them. I think there's something that they could take advantage of in this Stunners team outside of being shorthanded.
Yeah, they certainly can. And that's definitely one of those things that we always talk about. That if you don't Stingers and one and arguably two, you might want to kiss that match goodbye as they get warmed up. They are ready to go. And that's where the team really excels. Looks like lineups are all checked, and we are getting ready to go here. Our reffing signals ready. Time to get underway. Matt Hilling and the OC Stunners to serve. And there it is, the first serve of the weekend in the net left short. Matt Hilling trying to take advantage of a deeper set reception team from the Utah Stingers.
And Nick, that's something we're going to see with the Stunners team. Like you said, service pressure is their game. So we'll see a little bit of errors here and there.
Chilton goes down, attacking the line, trying to isolate Corey Chavers there, but this is wide. This is one of those things. If you haven't watched too much men's volleyball, well, the unfortunate reality is serves do happen. Just like in football, when you're trying to thread that ball into a quick out, just doesn't always connect. Just like pitching a ball in a Major League Baseball game. Nick West. No time miscommunication. Well, we certainly aren't wanting to see much
rally going on as it goes miss, eight.
You know, Nick, it's early. These teams are waking up, shaking off the rust, maybe even the nerves. I mean, it's playoffs for here on the ESPN. There's a little bit, might be a little bit more in the head. Typical event.
There certainly is, but
you love to see it come to fruition. Talking about West,
his aggressive
serving,
seeing good
results right off the bat. But a good pass.
And Mincy blocked back by the two on Santiago and Beamer. Shane Beamer was the third middle on his squad last year, which was always a surprise, but he was behind Nick West. Now with Nick West stepping away, Beamer ready to answer the call. He was the most valuable blocker in 2021 in the Denmark League. So no surprise that he was ready to answer that call. Chilton goes for the back row type attack. Storm is dug. And Hilling takes his turn with a controlled roll shot, taking Chilton out. Mincy into the triple block. Easy deflection. Easy dig. Santiago hammers down line, but misses wide. And that's going to be a point for the Stingers. Looking for the touch, but not finding it. Disciplined defense from number 0, Chandler Boggs, getting it done.
And Nick, that's the difference between these two opposites. Menty not pulling the block, but going off a triple block, keeping the play alive. And Jair trying to bounce it, just missing it line.
It really is the big power versus steady control. Watch that one as it unfolds. But a Noble Romero missing that one long. Jair Santiago used a variety of approaches on his serve. What I mean by that is the obvious answer is toss ball, hit ball hard. But he's developed a pretty steady roll shot that attacks the cross court in zone 1 and 2. So we'll see if he looks for that here. Opens up with the power. Well, it seems to be the power, and this serves continue. So, Noah, I've got to give you a quick nod here. The investigative reporting prior to the match could not have been more accurate. The service line might be the deciding factor here.
It could, and it often is at this level of the game.
Going with a nice pass. Beamer. He's dug, and Dennis will take second ball. Off the ceiling ball is wide, still short take. Quick to Chavers. No approach. Gets the touch though on the back row hand of Dennis. 6'11" UCI alumni. Corey Chavers from Santa Barbara, Gaucho. Spent the last 3 or 4 playing overseas. Spending his off season here competing in NVA. Nice speed. Storm sees a hole in the defense, and while Jair Santiago might bring the hammer, he does not bring the defense. Well exploited there from number 8.
And that's something the Stingers can and have to take advantage of. He's a big guy. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And that's like a tree cut down the forest to get them down that low.
Certainly is. That's expect from some of the biggest offenses in the league is a lack of the defensive side of their game. But no lack of offensive scoring there. Shane Beamer, number 3 in the middle. UCSD Triton scoring effectively and efficiently. Love to see number 11, Center Nacho, getting his middle established early. Beamer to float, bounces the tape. There it is. Steady arm of George Vincia. Squeak. Shigikawa with the first pass, tight ball. Hilling gets up and just pounds that one down. I always describe Matt Hilling as a guy that finds the most unique ways to score the points. He's been playing professionally overseas for near a decade at this point. He's played in Brazil as well as many other countries in Europe, just fresh off of a season in Israel, where he'll be heading back at the end of this month. Learned a lot of different tools and tips of the trade. And you talk about tips, one coming over the top has the Stunners out of sorts. Nice dig by Bogg, gives the Stingers a chance, and that chance is all they need. Romero off the double block. Right now, 7-6, no surprises there, Noah. Both these teams trading blows and scoring effectively or missing serves repeatedly. We'll have to see how that impacts the game. Ooh, a little sauce over the top. Matt Hilling put something special on that one. Did not want to be outdone from the tip from Storm there. Returns it right back to him.
And I think both these teams, as well as they're shaking off the rust, they're also feeling out the other side, seeing what can I get away with, who can I roll over, where can I place it when I don't have a big power swing.
It certainly is. Getting those crafty kills, that's where you earn the extra +1s in these long rallies. And a miscommunication there, Chilton and Baugh not having the conversation about who's taking second ball. Ugh, hate to see that unforced error here early on. 6-9, Stunners have a 3-point lead. Handled well by Chilton. There's another tip, but a one-handed punch dig from Nacho. Shigikawa takes second ball. Chaos. Baugh tries to track it down, but not enough in the tank. Controlled arm swing of Corey Chavers getting it done. Couple balls exchanging hands to be fed over to Matt Hilling. While he might have missed that first serve, he was just getting warm, wasting no time, opening up a nice little run here. Ooh, just misses that one wide, and I'll use that as an opportunity to fill in our fans at home. If you're not aware, we're running our challenge system as we have been all season long. The way that works is both teams have 3 challenges to use at any time during the first 4 sets. Those challenges will take us to a video review where we have an 11-camera system that will zoom in, check out exactly what happened, and you can challenge calls like in, out, foot fault, back row attack. Is there a net violation? Touch blocks only on the net. You cannot look for touches in the back row. And so teams will be using that throughout the match. You can usually expect to see it later on during the match. And those are going to be critical to watch usage. If and when we get to a 5th set, both teams will be awarded 1 more challenge, regardless of how many they already had in the bank. We'll have to see those as they unfold, but in the meantime, back into the action as Jair Santiago punishing the solo block of George Mencia, putting that one away, and the Stunners in good form here, 12-7.
And if you give Santiago a solo block, I mean, the point is all but over at that point.
It really is. He's going to open up that angle. You really got to be aggressive taking away a court, but he sees the block very well. Someone that spent a lot of time with the Puerto Rican national team. Nick West getting another friendly bounce off the block. Nacho tries to track that one down off the hands of Santiago, but the veteranship of Mencia on the outside in rotation 1 there. Just a nice friendly little wipe.
And I can't reiterate enough the cat and mouse, the power versus finesse, both doing what they know they do best, and it's working.
It really is, and that's where I talked about that point. I love when guys come out and execute exactly on brand, and I think that's what they're doing right now. Romero with aggressive serve, and there it is. Once again, Mencia. Is he flashy? No, but man, when you pull up the stats, good gosh, is he efficient. That quick little redirect on the overpass. Stingers say, hey, thanks for the free point. Nice serve, an oval. Might as well be an ace. Can he do it again? Got advantage on Matt Hilling that last serve. Target Shigikawa, tight pass. Net contact is deemed to be outside the pin, so it is not called. Shigikawa takes first ball. And a feed to Chavers down the line attacking zone 1. No one home for Chilton. Stingers not sure how they feel about that one, but they can challenge that.
Coach Russ, I see him debating. It's a bit early to use it. There was a lot of net contact, especially from my angle I'm looking at. I believe there was a net, but I mean, not even 16 points into this first set. Not worth the challenge at the moment.
I agree I saw everything you did there, so, I think they could have gotten it, but they opt out of it. There's the roll shot I talked about earlier, but read perfectly by Baugh. Santiago with the first ball, quick feed to Beamer. Ooh, Mincy misses the handle on that one. 15-9. Apologies, 14-9 after that. And we're gonna have a technical timeout that'll take us to commercial at 16, unless a timeout is called before that.
And down by 5, you got to wonder, it's in a weird spot where if Stunners get this point, do you just wait one more to go down by 7 potentially, or do you use that timeout? Ooh, Santiago makes sure that we don't have to see that question answered.
Or you pray
of the net.
for the missed serve.
Yeah. Sean Dennis, the 6'11 tower for the Stingers, played last season with the Las Vegas Rambler and on a 1-year loan. Good movement on that float. Gets a bit on Chavers. Santiago looks for something crafty, but misses his contact. Not what he was looking for there. Right idea, wrong execution.
And that's a shot with his power. If he can get that consistently, oh, it's dangerous. But it's just not something that's in the top of his arsenal.
It's certainly the case, and at 6'10" coming in, when you tip like that, you don't have to spend much time really going down with the tip. You've just got to go over the block. But that's twice in a row, right side Jair Santiago. Unforced hitting errors in the net. At that size and this responsibility on the role on the team, you've got to get that alive. And now all of a sudden, Stingers make a push 12-14.
And Nick, that's starting by the service pressure by Sean Dennis right now with some tough floats that are getting bad passes 3 in a row now.
And now a free ball chance taken by Holmes. Quick back set, and over Romero, and just like that, the Swarm is buzzing, 13-14. Utah Stingers look like their backs were against the wall, and they answer in kind. That's one thing that's always lost on a broadcast is how much a float serve moves. And Sean Dennis is getting that thing all over the place. Nice block there from Mincy, one-on-one against Chavers, gives them another chance. This one doesn't go. Looked like Chilton leaves that one a tad low. But Romero says, hey, that's my bad. I got to manage that one there.
But what a run from Dennis to get the Stingers back into this game.
Corey Chavers, 15-13. Big swing, misses long. Another nice bailout for the Stingers. And we've talked about sometimes they're a little slow to start, but that doesn't really feel like the case here today. They're scoring very efficiently. Mincy has proven to be their guy so far. Chavers the great pass, little tight, but managed by Nacho. The setter earns that point all by himself, and that's going to take us to a quick technical timeout. We'll be right back. Getting back into the action here. That's a technical timeout. Neither team feeling the pressure. They're not worried at all. Stingers definitely rewarded for a little bit of a late run there off the service pressure. Abenovo Romero answered the call right as I was wondering, are they going to go down by 7 waiting for a technical timeout? And just like that, they shore it up and they bring it back to just a 2-point deficit. A great spot to be in. But Shane Beamer, someone that really serves an aggressive float serve, can he get something going out of the technical timeout? And he certainly can out of system. Romero's going to take a controlled swing, taken by Chavers. And Chavers gets the option and puts it away. Easy answer out of the back row. Noah, something we haven't talked about is that both of these teams and their presence from the back row attack, in hindsight, seems obvious enough, but man, they are not wasting any time. That's about the 7th swing combined.
No, these are teams that were going to utilize all 5 hitters on the court at all times, especially with their big right sides and that back row attack on the right side and that middle pipe ball.
Yeah, Storm, someone that's associated with being so successful with it, as well as Matt Hilling. But right now, Corey Chavers and Enoval Romero being great options. Got to see how they continue to unfold there, and if the D-balls get involved. Beamer once again. Storm swings into the double, dug by Beamer, tight ball. West jams it through Russ. High swing for Storm. Fangata Tufunga as number 8 bangs that one off the block and gets a point for the Stingers.
And Nick, during that technical timeout, Coach Matt Prosser basically having to address the craftiness of the offense of the Stingers, telling his blockers, you need to stay disciplined. Don't reach and block your defenders behind you. Pick a zone, take away that shot, and let your defenders do the work.
Oh, there ain't no defending that one. Matt Hilling opens it up and hammers that one ball down 10-foot line. Massive kill for number 18.
I had to stand up and take a lap around my chair.
Yeah.
That one woke me up. If you weren't awake already, welcome to the NVA.
Wow. We've seen a little bit of crafty kills, talked about his ability to find ways to score, but that's the exciting Matt Hilling we've come to know and love. But you talked about the craftiness of the Stingers, and right there, Nick West goes up, shakes off Nacho, says, watch these hands, and then a quick dump kill. No one up there to stop that one from the Stingers.
I mean, his net presence on both sides of the ball, I mean, it's almost unmatched.
It is. It is completely unmatched. And if you've got to play against him, I wish you the best, because he is one of the best blockers in the U.S. Looking for that ball to be in, called out, and this might be one of the first challenges we see coming from the Stingers. Enoval Romero shakes off George Mencia and says, no, man, I hit that one out.
And Nick, as quickly as the Stingers crawled back into this, they're now creeping their way back out, another 5-point hole.
Overpass, West scoring, and there it is. The serve and pass is a tale as old as time in men's volleyball, and it's certainly no surprise as it rears its head here. Both teams struggling a bit to handle some of these float serves that they're being served at them. But Romero one-on-one, that's exactly why tough service pressure is so important. A good pass means that middle blocker, Nick West, has to commit block, go up and block Russ Holmes so effectively that he's basically, there's no chance he gets to the outside. That leaves the outside hitter one-on-one against Jair Santiago. Easy kill. Russell Holmes, aggressive float, tight pass. What's gonna happen? Sean Dennis is gonna happen. The 6'11" tower rotates in, gets it done on the net. Doesn't want Nick West getting too many free kills. He says, hey, this one's my turn. Watch how a big man does it. Russ sends that float long, not happy with that one, but did get 1 point during his service run. Always a great way, extends your lead by 1. Matt Hilling, ever since that first missed serve, has been causing havoc for the Stingers serve reception line. We'll see what he's able to do here. Not using a ton of power in the last couple serves, but attacking seams and doing it at a very high rate. Puts a good pace on that ball. Bada Romero. Romero sees triple block and sees no problem at all. Putting the stunner's block on notice as he swings high hands out of the back of the court. Setter Reed Chilton in his debut with the Stingers this season. Did not play with them in the previous 2. A BYU Cougar. Played with Russ Holmes in their time there. But a net on George Mencia on that block. And that's going to earn a point for the Stunners, bringing Shane Beamer back to the court and sending Nick West to the service line. West attacking zone 1 down the line, just missing that one. Stingers happy to accept a free point and send Romero back, who just got an overpass the last time he was on the service line. See if he's able to do a little bit more. He was having a good season, but when we saw him play in that NVA All-Star match during Event 5, it felt like a man on fire that we've not seen all season long.
And that serve just inches away from the back line.
A quick note for our viewers at home. Unfortunately, there are a lot of lines on the court. That blue line is not the one you're looking at. Everything on the black line is all that we're looking at. So you'll see a lot of guys getting confused on, is there a foot fault on the serve, because they cross the blue line, but not the black line. So always an interesting one to keep an eye on. As Santiago goes with a big toss and misses long.
And you're seeing that tightrope walk of you need to be aggressive on your serve, because if it's too easy, it's basically a free point for that other squad. That's why you're seeing these missed serves, because teams, they want to put the right amount of pressure to get that other team out of system without just giving them a free ball to run their offense freely. And that's when you see those missed serves. It's all part of being aggressive.
Talk about aggressive serving, and just like that, Shavers is a bit out of system, but no problem for him. Nice bump set to the outside there from Roberts. And Shavers takes care of it, and that's going to do it. 25-20 set goes to Stunners. We'll be right back. And we're just in between sets as the OC Stunners take down the Utah Stingers 25-20. If you're just joining us, you're watching the National Volleyball Association. I'm Nick England, joined by Noah Chast on the sideline. And we've got tons of great volleyball coming your way all weekend long. But before we get into this next set, we want to take a quick look at some of the stats. And the one that stands out to me right now is that from the side of the OC Stunners, Matt Hilling has 4 kills with no errors on 5 attempts, and Corey Chavers 5 kills on 7 attempts, also no errors. That means these two outsides have contributed 9 kills with no hitting errors, swinging at around a 77% clip combined. Certainly an impressive one and something we want to keep track of. However, on the side of the Stingers, there's not many hitting errors there that we're seeing, as we're seeing 2 kills combined by, or contributed by Storm, 3 from George Mencia on the right side, and 4 from kill leader Anoval Romero, who also has the team's 2 hitting errors currently. So definitely something to keep an eye on, where those hitting errors creep their way in, but definitely the service errors is where we're going to be keeping more of an eye as this second set gets ready to go underway.
And Nick, I was looking over at the Stingers sideline, and Jorge Mencia, I mean, that veteranship really showing, taking over the timeout, talking to his team. And this is something the Stingers have really, their play has been about all season. He's telling his team, we need to take control. Once we get control of this match, then we can play our game and be ourselves. But they were sort of playing behind and playing responsive. And he also said on that same note, don't give them confidence. They're going to get their kills, but don't let your body language and your play kind of inject that feeling to the Stunners that, oh, we're in control and this is our game to win and it's a cakewalk. Let them know that we're still here.
Definitely, and that's, you know, it's interesting to hear what's being talked about, especially as we look so much at the way that Stingers usually plays the game. That slow start, not too uncharacteristic. Stunners needed that win, so we'll see how everyone answers back as we get into the action. Chandler Ba with a massive dig. And a Noble Romero is dug by Shigekawa. The libero's not wanting to be outdone, but the libero in black and teal bests that one there. You don't get to talk about liberos nearly enough, but both of them making impressive statement digs there.
And that's what we love to see, is a couple liberos trading digs back and forth, like a couple outsides trading blows.
Ba gets bested on that one. Romero tries to wipe, misses, and that goes wide. Quick look at the end of the first set when we talk about the service pressure. From the Utah Stingers, 4 errors, but no service aces. Typically, you want to see about 1 ace to 2 errors. That's a kind of an accepted, good, healthy ratio that indicates service pressure. But Matt Hilling with an ace. He paid the gatekeeper on that one, gets a friendly bounce off the tape. And that's a nice point for number 18, who continues delivering great pressure from the service line. On the side of the OC Stunners at the end of set 1, they had 7 service errors with only 1 ace, meaning that almost 3.5, or they didn't play basically a third of the game because of service errors, but they still found a way to win by 5 points. That tells you exactly how much pressure they're putting on in other facets of their game. Chilton tracks that one down into the sideline. Romero gets the swing, and a tight ball is punched over by Chavers. Romero swings high hands. No one there to dig that. Hilling can't quite get behind that. Too much pace. Means the Stingers score here. Down still by 2. 1-3 for Romero to the service line. Romero with a big serve, taken by Hilling. Back set, there it is. Nick West on the back 1 route. Haven't seen that yet today. Certainly no surprise, but I love the creativity from Roberts, number 11. The surface level value of that is obviously the point, but what that does and things to look for in the future is that's going to make Sean Dennis and Russ Holmes have to move laterally, cover that up, and that's going to open up the pipe route from the back row and maybe give them an option not to be blocked. Sean Dennis gets the nod there for a swing, but is dug. And Stingers now get another chance. And there's the Mincy wipe. Corey Chavers not using a strong outside hand. I think he kind of pulled that one, didn't want to get used, but still got caught.
Even if you know it's coming, you can't be outsmarted by the master of the tool.
So much control. Sean Dennis seeing if he can get another rally started here. But Santiago puts a quick kibosh on that one with a nice kill from the right side.
And that's taking advantage of a slight height mismatch with him and Storm. I mean, Jair has the advantage there, has a lot more angles to hit on when going about that block.
Nothing like being a 6'4" outside and having to deal with that being the height mismatch, because you couldn't be more right. It's a half a foot difference between these two players. And there it is, an ace. Jair Santiago's been hunting for that one all game long and finds it there. You can see Coach Matt Prosser nodding in approval. That's what they're expecting. You talk a little bit about serving responsibilities. Guys like Jair Santiago, you're going to let him miss every serve going after it, because his job on this team is to get those big points. You're going to see him continue hammering big serves just like that here. Takes a little off that one, though. An easy pass means easy kill for Olympian Russ Holmes, number 12.
And I think while sparingly, the Stingers need to get Russ Holmes more involved, almost symbolically for their team. You see someone take over, get a big kill, maybe a big block here and there. You don't need to stuff the stat sheet, but just to get him involved on that offensive side will be huge for the Stingers team.
Couldn't agree more, and a nice set recovery there. Right now, it really feels like the outside hitter show. Nice wipe attempt there from Chavers, but Chilton, very disciplined. That's that veteranship, father of 4, all the patience in the world. Deflects that one, comes back into his lap, gives Chandler Ba a nice, easy ball to bump set, and Storm handles it brilliantly.
There's nothing the Stunners could throw at him that 4 kids can't.
Chavers once again, and there it continues. The outside battle rages on. Quick wipe down. I don't recall seeing anyone on the court, so it makes you wonder, is that a little bit of a stalling strategy as the Stingers are down by 3 points here? They don't want to let an early run happen, and that was the kind of the story that was untold in set number 1, was a lot of runs that the Stingers were letting happen, and then they'd answer back, but kind of let it happen right back again. So see if they can clean that up a little bit. Shigikawa tracks it down. Nice ball coming back, and Hilling sends a free ball. And that's turned into a big swing from Romero, and while the Stunners put together 3 contacts, the third one sends it nowhere but out the back of the court. Romero, too much heat to handle.
And you mentioned the outside show. I would love to see Inovel Romero playing the way he did in that All-Star game and really kind of taking that mantle of the heavy hitter on the Stingers team.
A little bit of a mishandle on that set from Roberts. Sends Hilling into the pin. If that ball hits those red and white candy canes, basically extend the out of bounds into the vertical space above the net. That makes sure that no one's attacking from outside angles. And so that is going to hit the antenna for that last point. But now we see another infraction. Getting lots of chances here to talk about some of those nuanced rules people at home may not talk about. If you're a back row player, that black line at the 3 meter or the 10-foot line, depending on where you're learning the game. And Jair Santiago stepped on that. If you're on it, even a millimeter is a back row attack as long as you contact the ball above the net. Matt Hilling says, no problem, triple block. Take this one and shove it down the front of your block there. Not quite over. Russ Holmes, very displeased with himself on that move there. He's made that move millions of times.
And the triple block is such an interesting move in the volleyball world. It gives the hitter nowhere to go around, but so many places to tool if you do it right.
Yes. Romero gets it done. First pass, first swing, kill easy. And just like that, 8-8. Holmes gets a good handle on that one. Tight pass, Hilling not looking like he's certainly ready, but he gets the touch. I saw a touch. And they're talking about the challenge.
Coach Cross is going to challenge it, and I think he's going to win this.
I thought I saw it on the net. We'll see what the camera shows, but that's always the the question right there. So again, the way this works, a challenge is declared. So Coach Matt Prosser uses one of his 3 banked challenges. We'll go ahead and review, and then we'll see if he gets this challenge correct. They keep their challenge and they'll still retain 3. They get it wrong, they'll lose it and drop down to just 2.
And Nick, you can tell a lot by the body language and the conversation of the player who's involved in the challenge. And Reed Chilton seems very confident with his teammates. And no, I did not touch that. And sometimes you'll see the poker face and they'll just kind of look around and pretend like they didn't. But he seems confident. His hand wasn't hit by the ball.
And there you see it. It's hard to tell in the 2D, so don't worry. We're going to see some other angles. That one, that is very hard to see. We're going to take a look at another angle here. We'll see that deflect as they slow it down here into slow motion.
And the important thing to remember with this challenge system is it has to be indisputable, irrefutable evidence to overturn the call on the floor, and the call was no touch.
Right, and so when I see this here, what makes this tricky is it's contacting the net at the same time. I think Chilton goes just over this. You see the trajectory of the ball adjust when it hits the tape. I'm not seeing Chilton make, and again, you talked about the most important thing, irrefutable evidence. I don't see something here. Now, quick note, there's a reason why I am not the ref here, but that's going to do it just like we saw here on the sideline. And that's going to do it. A point indicated over to the Utah Stingers. So interesting to see our very first challenge coming down here. And that's going to mean that the Stunners lose that point or that challenge. point stays with the Stingers, and it's going to be 2 points, or 2 remaining challenges for the Stunners. Back into action, a nice pass, nice set, and Hilling says, hey, maybe I missed the last one, so let me hit this into the middle of the court and leave no doubt.
And Nick, that's really what they're looking for up in the replay center. It's the official needs to watch that and go, I have full confidence of what the call is now. If there's any hesitation, they're going to go with the call on the floor.
Yep. Trust the veterans that we've got on the floor. And meanwhile, you talk about the veterans, our officiating crew blowing the whistle for big kills like that from Sean Dennis. Our R1, we've got Steven Shepard. R2 is Dennis there's one, Franchini. Ty Boyd on the line, as well as Robin Burton, and Katie Mahoney is our scorekeeper. West tip over the top. Mency gets a chance off the hand of West. A nice seam attack there from Mency. Got to be disciplined on the block. Santiago drifting all the way out to the pin. Mency waits and attacks. Chilton pass well by Shigikawa. A little bit of chaos, but not being brought back from the Stingers. There's the middle involvement we've been talking about. West picked up 3 kills on 4 attempts in the first set. A couple of them more creative than actually being set, but just being large and aware at the net, working well for him. Hilling gets aggressive, sends that one long. 12-10, the Utah Stingers now. They're not making as many uncharacteristic errors. And I say uncharacteristic, I would say it's arguably the most characteristic error when they play set 1. But when you talk about Stingers brand volleyball, this is what we tend to associate with them. And Noah, I know this is exactly why you took them in that potential upset during the pregame show. And this is what I was sitting there and I could not wrap my head around how it made me feel that this was going to unfold.
And I think Mency mentioned it best during that timeout, that they play best when they're in control. And the opposite, the Stunners are probably at their worst when they're not in control and they're in panic mode.
Yeah, some teams play very well from behind. They know how to answer. They know how to play the game of 1 and 2 micro points at a time. Games within the games, really break it down. But some teams, they feel the pressure. Guys try to put too much on their back. They compound errors, and maybe we'll see that unfold here.
And don't get me wrong, the Stunners are a team that just has the talent and the training where they can kind of push through that deficit of being down and maybe not being as mentally sturdy. But against a team like the Stingers, who are so calm and so collected, that's where it can get interesting.
Nice off-block dig from Santiago. Gather step from Chavers. Ooh, you want to know where he played his college ball. The Gaucho with the clinical roll shot down the line. A little snap of the wrist sends it to 1. Nobody home. Easy point for the Stunners, who are now down by just 1 on the back of Nick West serving.
Little thumb up cut shot right over the blocker into no man's land.
And West gets a piece of Romero, and just as we talked about the ability to answer back in the face of adversity, the OC Stunners get it done, tied up 13-13. Now the race to 16 as the technical timeout looms. That's well underway. West off speed. Nice handle by Romero. Tip once again, but West all over that one. Ooh, one-handed dig from Chilton. A pump attempt over from Storm. That was a unique one there, kind of a weird angle from him. But Shane Beamer does not want anything coming over the net. He says, this is my dojo.
And there looked to be some miscommunication between Sean Dennis and Storm on that ball.
Certainly was, and just like that, Russ Holmes calls the timeout early. We'll be back in a minute to talk about it, but we'll be right back after this. Back here courtside at the San Bernardino Pierce Sports Center, the Utah Stingers battling back after a 3-point lead was quickly lost, or a 2-point lead that's now turned into a 1-point deficit, so a 3-point swing. Mishandled there by Chilton, slipped through his hands. Outside Chambers, one-on-one, George Mency lets him know about it. Number 9 with a massive stuff down block. In the pregame, we talked about the steady hands of the Stingers' right side, and right there showcasing it brilliantly.
And during that timeout, the Stingers kind of working through those miscues. Storm Fangata Tafunga talking with Sean Dennis and telling him, hey, if you need to tell me, get the heck out of the way, you scream at me and I'll move.
There it is, waste no time getting the communication lines established. And another block there, Shane Beamer getting it done. Man, middle blocker for a reason. That's 2 blocks back to back. Storm's got to get that one over the net somehow, but Beamer's not having any of it. Beamer, another NVA All-Star from 2022 here. Plenty of them on the court. You can see exactly why. Santiago goes aggressive. That one goes long. Easy call there for our officiating crew.
And Santiago not quite finding his serve yet early in this match, but once he gets that serve on and consistent, that changes the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, and that's where we saw a flash there where he opened up with an ace, but then, you know, the errors resume. Good block touch from Holmes. Chaos, and another free ball. This is going to be a scoring opportunity. But miscommunication, Stunners couldn't see where Shigikawa there was there. Normally a guaranteed take by the libero. Looked like miscommunication by outside hitter Matt Hilling and Shigikawa.
And I think through the chaos of that play, Shigikawa got kind of caught amongst the trees and was blocked physically from getting to that ball.
Couldn't get over there, couldn't take the free ball. Tight pass from him too, got to shore that up quickly. Bailed out by a swing that misses from a Noble Romero.
And that set just looked a little off, a little behind, and that's why he kind of short arm shock putted it out of the court.
Yeah, we've seen Reed Chilton lose a couple of his hands on some of these sets. Maybe not quite where he's wanting to locate him. We'll see if he's able to clean that up a bit. Finds Holmes there, but a double block slows it down. Talked about missed set opportunities. Now we see it from Roberts. Play's gotten a little bit sloppy here as both teams trying to find a way to score. Sometimes those effective stops in the blocking means that some of these hitters get a little bit desperate. And it certainly seems to be the case here. 17-16, Stingers have now pulled back in the lead by 1. Shigikawa, Chavers, dug by Bob, but no one home for that one. Massive cannon from the big swing of number 6, Chavers. Shane Beamer to serve. Means that Nick West makes his return to the front row and sends Shigikawa to the bench. The libero will not be on the court while the back row middle serves and will make his return once the Utah Stingers sides out. High ball in the middle of the court, that's what you want to see on a tough serve, exactly for that reason. Noah, when we talk about passing responsibilities, I've luckily spent a fair amount of time playing with these guys at this level. There are some servers that you are not going to pass a ball perfectly. The entire name of the game becomes air the ball out in the middle of the court on the 10-foot line and let your setter do the rest.
Once the serves get to that level for certain players, it's no longer serve-receive, it's you're playing defense, you're getting a dig. Just get the ball up, central and high enough for your setter to make a play.
Russ Holmes leaves that one short. He's had a couple service errors here plaguing this attempt so far. But another guy, you see those float serves come from the middles, Dennis as well as Holmes. They're coming from such a high point of contact. It doesn't have to go up and over the net. It just comes down at you. Definitely something that's a new experience as you progress from the collegiate level into this. And that float serve just carries for Roberts. Good heads-up play from the serve-receive line of the Utah Stingers as they let that one go.
And you mentioned it, the float serve at the downward trajectory really changes your whole vision because you're used to seeing it maybe pop up a little bit and then come down. To see it on a straight down angle, very difficult to read.
Very difficult indeed. And now Corey Chavers once again getting involved from the back row. He's been in and out of several of the events this season, participating in 3, so we haven't had as much consistency as we did from him last year in terms of seeing him on the court. But wastes no time establishing this pipe connection and scoring efficiently. Sean Dennis, the big man, gets involved. Good pass means good connection with the big man. Number 14 scores well.
And as we mentioned earlier, getting those 2 middles, Dennis and Holmes, involved will open up so much for this offense and bring a little bit of electricity to it as well.
Yeah, Sean Dennis, Russ Holmes, loud guys, love to get in there. So we'll see if they can get involved or if these service errors from the Stingers will continue to plague their attempts here in the second half of the set. West drops that one in, easy pass. Big swing, and that's gonna be a kill for Sean Dennis. Well, it's very clear Reed Chilton wants his middles involved offensively, and so while their serving, their serve receive might be struggling, they ended set 1 at a 33% clip, not a great number. He's gonna make sure that his middles get involved on every pass that he can. The big man gets a dig. Mincy gets a chance and uses the block of Corey Chavers there. Mincy continues to produce efficiently, effectively, and right on time. And that's going to be a timeout called for the OC Stunners as they're down by 2 points in the dog days of set number 2. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the exciting conclusion of set number 2. And a quick breather for you at home and a quick breather here for the guys on the court. Utah Stingers, OC Stunners getting ready to get back into the action. Stingers at the helm of a 2-point lead, 22-20. Means they've got some wiggle room with the serve of Sean Dennis on the line. Easy serve taken by the hands of Chavers. Chavers tips over the top, deflection from Mincy, and Romero sends it over. Free ball opportunity. Santiago puts a dent in the floorboards. Big swing from a very big man. 21-22. Stunners brilliantly answering back at a crucial moment. Credit to Coach Matt Prosser knowing when to call that timeout to calm his guys down.
And that's why having a guy like Santiago that can bring the hammer like that is so good to really shake your team back into control.
But now can he take that same momentum to his service line? Off speed, Russ Holmes with a perfect pass. Storm gets the high touch, that's a kill off the fingertips. Russ Holmes says, hey, some of the boys back row might be struggling to pass, but I'm certainly not. Let's get the offense moving. 23-21. I said in the pregame show, Noah, I was shocked that regardless of who won, if this went less than 5, we're seeing that potentially unfold here as Mincy gets that short serve, but it's handled brilliantly by Shigekawa. Stunners are able to earn themselves a side-out point. 23-22 now. Chavers just one of many on the list of the Stunners with a massive swing. Can he generate a little pressure? Good pass, good swing. And that's going to take us to set point here for the Stingers, 24-22. They're going to get 2 chances. And if you're new to volleyball, welcome into the sport. Quick rule here for you. Every single set is a win by 2. So it's a race to 25, but if you're up 25-24, the game will continue on. There is no end in sight. But that's going to do it for us with a quick timeout here as the Stunners try to get a quick breather. We'll be right back. And the OC Stunners coming back from their timeout there as they called that one just to catch a little bit of a breather to see if they could maybe slow down the Stingers and give themselves a chance here to rally back and maybe steal the second set away. 24-22, like I said earlier, 2 attempts for the Stingers to earn this one. Serves in, chaos ball. Hilling tries to punt that one to keep it alive. Maybe an aggravation, maybe an attempt to bring it back. And we talked a little bit about the stress that might impede in the Stunners game. You see it unfold live. 25-22 here in the second set. That's going to take us to a commercial break with set 3 right on the way. Don't go anywhere. And just like that, the Utah Stingers even the set count at 1 apiece. But to get a little bit more information, we've got Noah Chast on the sideline with middle blocker Nick West. Noah, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. Like you said, Nick West here, and you guys took that first set, that second one, almost down to the wire. Stingers getting their way. I mean, what changed from set 1 to set 2?
Not much changed, I don't think. It's just a matter of, those last couple plays at the end of the match, what's going to click, who's going to get lucky a little bit. And I think we just missed a couple digs there. If we get 1 or 2 digs out of those last 5 points, I think it's a different story. So a little unlucky, but I trust our guys to come back and reset, and hopefully, the next one will be a different story.
Nick, one of the best hands, best blockers in the league, but Mency and the Stingers team, very crafty, very smart. How do you combat that?
Honestly, I think we just focus on our own game. They're going to do what they're going to do, but if we want to win this, we have to put forward our best brand of volleyball, and whatever they do is up to them. But we need to figure it out ourselves.
Speaking of figuring it out yourselves, how is the team energy right now as this match gets tied at 1 set apiece?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to actually go over there, but I'll gauge it out, and if it's low, I'll psych the boys up, and if they're ready to roll, then I won't change anything.
If anyone can psych them up, it's definitely middle blocker Nick West. Thank you, Nick. I'll send it back to Nick England over at the booth.
You talk about a little bit of hyping the boys up. We always joke about Nick West, someone that when he talks about his coffee consumption, he doesn't talk about how much he drinks in terms of cups as his unit of measure. It's in how many containers he's had. He's a full cup, or he's a full jar kind of guy. So he's one of those caffeine ride at high, energies on the court, very apparent. If you follow the NVA Instagram, you can always see exciting clips of him there. But glad to see him live in action here on ESPN3, bringing the action all day long. Well, Noah, I'm not sure yet if you're ready to make a fool out of myself, Ira, and Matt with the Stunners prediction. But a nice answer back there from the Stingers out of that second set.
A great answer, and I don't know if any of us are making fools for the picks we have. Like we've been saying, I mean, this is a coin toss. It's 2 teams that could really take advantage in different ways and pull it out. But a very nice response by the Stingers. They took that first loss in stride, and like you said, they're a slow starting team. And so they bounced back, they assessed what they needed to do, and they won a tight match, and that's the key. It was back and forth, down the wire, 2-3 point advantage, but they were able to stay smooth and pull it out. And staying smooth and staying calm is something the Stunners definitely need to find to pull out this next set and the match.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to kind of calm things down, or if maybe a little bit of an injection of a pot of coffee from middle blocker Nick West is exactly what the team needs. And in a set this close, one of those things we always want to keep an eye on is exactly how dialed in the teams can be in those long rallies with the intangibles. Can they figure out the ways to, find that dig, find that block touch, or not miss the first serve of the set? Matt Hilling sends that one into the top tape. And that's going to be a point for the Utah Stingers, picking up right back where they left off.
And Matt Hilling carrying the Stunners offensively that first set and a half. Now with a little bit of frustration, things going against them. We'll see how he responds. Just missed that first serve to start it. We'll see if he can bounce back.
Yeah, you talk about that, and I said that he had 4 kills on no errors. At the end of that, he basically picked up 2 kills during the second set, but he got 3 errors as well, so hitting negative during that second set. Still swinging at a 50%, and I'll be honest, that's still a great clip to be hitting at as an outside hitter. But if the Stunners want to win, someone is going to have to step up. We'll have to see if it's going to be him.
And when he does, he's someone that's so dangerous, and he has that take over a match presence and ability to him.
Certainly does. The missed serve train continues. That's missed serve number 12 for the Stunners. They've got 4 aces so far, so they're not that far off of that range that we like to see. A lot more aces in that last set, but still did not yield them a win when they picked them up, so something might have to change. Beamer gets a block touch from Holmes. Stunners get a chance, but Beamer says no chance. Getting his 3rd terminal block touch there, sending that back. Joined by Corey Chavers, who currently has 11 points. He's been blocked once, but he's got no hitting errors, swinging at 58% on 19 attempts. You want to see a heroic effort, look no further. Number 6 getting it done.
And he does it almost silently. It's a casual 11 points.
It very much is. Santiago finds that serve in. Romero over the top, dug by Shigikawa. And now Beamer sends it back, a free ball chance. A little bit of chaos, but Chavers tries to be the trash man. Beamer to Santiago, out of system, and chaos is induced. Matt Hilling's body language says it all right now. Stunners have scattered to all corners of the court, and they look a bit frazzled, out of sorts. Down by just 1, but man, the mental and physical body language on the court right now tells a different story. Beamer unloads, but he gets dug by Ba. He gets a second a chance off speed. Mencia dug by Santiago. Chavers jumps backward, no approach on the transition, and Romero gets it done. Fantastic defense on both sides. Santiago tries to get it done with a big dig, but Chandler Ba puts the team on his back, giving a Noble Romero a great chance out of the back row.
And Nick, this is one of the reasons why I picked the Stingers, because when the chips are down for the Stunners, I'm not sure how they respond. And really, the chips aren't down. We're 2 sets tied, and it's a 2-point game, but the body language says otherwise.
It certainly does, but veterans make veteran plays, and there it is, Corey Chavers, 12th kill of the match so far, getting it done. And like you said, it's casual. He's not maybe going out there and, while he's more than capable of a kill like we saw from Matt Hilling to start off set 2, it's just high hands. He gets up so high that he's hitting down on these blockers. Romero once again. Does it go? Not quite enough on that. Nice dig by Chavers. Nacho not quite able to reverse the ball and send it over.
And on the reverse end of the momentum spectrum, you can see it in the body language and the eyes of the Stingers. They now feel we're in control of this match, and that's exactly where they like to be.
Beamer is still the answer. Nacho is not wasting any time. Dug twice, no problem. I dare you to dig him a 3rd time, they say. Nice kill from Beamer on the cutback. Answers with a bit of a war cry, trying to get the guys rallied up. And that is one of the things you can always rely on. Doesn't matter the middle from the Stunners. They are bringing a ton of energy.
And Beamer's a guy who can take control right back out of a match.
Another option to the back row, this time trying to find Storm. Tight ball, reset, covered, home swings, West blocks, West gets him, points it in and says, hey, that's my sideline.
I don't know if that was a point or a little hand in the cookie jar celebration, little basketball term there.
Yep.
Boom.
Let him know that one is mine. Nice point there, though. That's exactly what you need. And you've heard, you know, from the 2 guys, Nick West, Shane Beamer, They want to be that spark plug. They want to be the answer that gets the guys back on track. And it's so hard for a middle blocker. You get 3 rotations front row. Sometimes it's hard to feel their energy and be felt by their teammates. But when you've got what feels like 6 rotations of middles just fired up and jazzed up, man, that's a great place to be. And Beamer and West doing it right now for the Stunners. 5-5 apiece. Nice pass from Baugh. Middle swing from Russ Holmes. West takes away some good court. Holmes tries to navigate it and misses wide.
And just as you mentioned, these two middles, West and Beamer, really shifting the energy and the score of this match, with now the Stunners with a 1-point lead.
That was a play put together almost entirely by the Stunners middles. Beamer with the serve, West making that big blocking move. And that's something that you don't really see reflected always from the middle blockers. Sometimes they have impressive block lines. We saw Uchenna Ofoha from the Orlando Southern Exposure put up a 15-block match earlier this season, which is absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, sometimes it's about taking away court and making other players make mistakes. Hilling corrals that back into the court. Stingers recycle, try again, but try one more time. Nick West, massive block, sends that one to the court, and we can't talk enough about the middles because they are anchoring this resurgence from the OC Stunners.
They're doing it all, and now, Nick, I need you to put on your coaching hat. I know you're not a fan of the early timeouts, but this is a long run, a game-shifting run. 7-5 now for the Stunners. At what point do you stop this service run by Shane Beamer?
Well, I don't let it get to 9-5. I don't want to be down by 4. I'm going to let my guys play another one at least, see how we answer back, but struggling to pass that ball from Beamer, and now uncharacteristics continue. 8-5, I would give it one more, and then I've got to call it. You can't, this is early enough that you can still manage, but you know, down by 4 this early on, you can come back. You don't want to be looking 10-5 in the face, though, and I'm not letting it get past 9-5. Beamer with that aggressive float serve. See if the Stingers can weather the storm. Oh, Santiago tries to find it. No easy points for the Stingers, but Romero gets them out of that situation, and they are rewarded for being bull true there as they're down now just by 2. And, you know, it becomes a casual 2. What was a scary 4 or 5, kind of looking them in the eyes.
1 point can shift a lot.
D-ball to Santiago. We haven't seen either team running many D-balls while the pipe has been extraordinarily efficient on both sides of the court. Maybe that's why right there. Maybe that connection is not well established. Santiago sending his 3rd swing of the match into the net. At that size, you've got to, if you're going to make a hitting error, miss long, miss wide, miss over the net being aggressive, but you got to give it a chance. Deep float from Russ puts the Stunners in a spot. Hilling with a safe swing. Sean Dennis in transition. Leaves Shigikawa scrapping, trying to keep that play alive and not able to do so. And now all of a sudden the Utah Stingers, the back and forth rages on, 8 apiece.
And what's been doing the most damage for both of these teams has been the float serves. You know, at this level, you're used to seeing ripping, you know, 90, 80 mile an hour jump serves, and that can be dangerous when used correctly, but a float is almost even more effective. It's like a knuckleball in volleyball. It's so hard to read, especially coming from that downward trajectory.
It certainly is. There's, oh my goodness. If you, I mean, we've got the best seats in the house to watch huge 4-4 swings like that from Matt Hilling. But that serve from Russ Holmes, the float, we talk about side to side, but something you don't talk about a lot, that goes front to back too. That ball was coming at the serve receive and it kind of backtracked. It pauses a little bit in the air and it throws off your timing.
A good float is really just an optical illusion.
Yeah. Nice one-handed dig from Nacho. Chavers to Hilling. Hilling to swing, gets a touch for the reset. And now Santiago swings lefty. And another hitting error. Number 15 is struggling right now. Jair Santiago, that's his 7th hitting error on 5 kills. Unfortunately, you look across the bench, without moving someone like Matt Hilling to the right side and bringing in Antonio Anguizzola on the outside, they don't have options. So, you know, maybe that can be a bit of a strength to his mental game, knowing that there's not really any other option. You got to figure it out. The other alternative solution is Nick West goes right side, as someone that's played middle and opposite overseas, and you put
Kevin Gear.
Penn State Kevin Gear onto the court. But I think they're going to let Jair try to figure it out. And at this point, you look to setter Nacho Roberts to manage the swings that he's getting to help mitigate some of those errors that have plagued his offensive attempts. (10-10). Romero going after the sideline, just misses wide. Aggressive serve, and he is one of those guys that's got the green light for the Utah Stingers, much like we talk about with Jair Santiago for the Stunners. Tracking all the way to the line with that one. Serve goes out of the back line. Sean Dennis, nice pass by Hilling. Santiago no one up, and that's a great way to get him back involved. But that's a kill that's not really celebrated, more of a sigh of relief that thank goodness I got that one.
And that's a good way to maybe connect and reignite something with your teammates. Your outside hitter struggling a bit, getting a great pass, your opposite struggling, bouncing one to the floor, maybe wake you up a little bit and settle yourself and know who you are and what you're capable of as a player and as a team.
It really is, and what's so funny is we're talking about kind of the uncharacteristic errors of the Stunners as we see a foot fault on the serve there from Jair Santiago. But while we're highlighting a lot of the errors plaguing the team right now, take a quick look at the scoreboard and it tells a very different story. It's 12-12. Stingers are in a bad spot if the Stunners cut their errors even in half.
And that's just how talented this Stunners team is. Looked like there was a touch there, and there was.
And Chavers continues to be the rock, keeping this team anchored in right now. Pink shoes, a bit flashy, matching the play style right now. Wow, big serve, out of system, Stingers. But Storm able to attack that one well. Nice dig from Chavers. Hilling puts something a little extra on that ball and bests the double block. What started with the middles is quickly transitioning to an outside-centric offense. But Nacho's going to find his hot guys and feed them the ball.
And Nick, you really mentioned it perfectly, just the strength of this Stunners team and the talent. It can be all chaos on the floor, and they're up by 2 points.
Yeah. So, you know, it just speaks to that's part of the game when you're playing at this level. Guys are going to hold each other accountable. And some guys handle it better than others mentally. But that's part of the game. You're going to get intense teammates that are going to have very high expectations. You get a player like Matt Hilling. He's played all over the world. He's played with guys on the same team that they don't speak the same language. And so that's part of overcoming it. Chavers taking a swing down, finds our official.
That's got to be a red card.
That's a personal attack.
The next 50-50 ball is going the Stingers' way, I think.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see the next close set or the next close swing called out. Storm takes something off, puts a little bit on that hybrid, and a double block. Russ Holmes, Reed Chilton, the BYU alumni duo get it done. Number 12 with the terminal touch.
And the Olympian, the experienced Russ Holmes read that play from the gate. He knew exactly where it was going, who was swinging, and where to put his long arms and block that straight down.
You don't beat the angle from Holmes. But you do say thanks for the missed serve from Storm Fangata Tufunga as the Stunners take a 15-14 lead.
And the Stingers, we saw it just right there. They're hurting and killing their own energy with their missed serves right now because they have the momentum on their end, and they're just handing it back to the Stunners.
Big bucket of water. And a float serve bests the platform of Soren Fatungata Tafunga. And that's going to get our technical timeout at 16-14. Don't go anywhere. We got plenty more volleyball coming your way. Back courtside here, this is the NVA bringing you the OC Stunners against the Utah Stingers. Set count is 1-1, and the score currently 16-14, coming to you live from the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, California. Bringing professional volleyball to ESPN3 all weekend long. George Menzies takes a big swing, a bit of a pump fake from Shane Beamer, pushes Corey Chavers off that defensive move, and a good side out from the Stingers. Holmes to float. Chavers gets the pass, gets the set, gets the kill. I've said that one a couple times, Noah, and you know what? I'll be honest. I don't think I'm even halfway through the amount of times I'm going to have to say it if the Stunners want to take this win.
Corey Chavers kill through the pipe ball. Just keep on saying it, get it on repeat.
Yep. MVP of the league finals last year. No surprise there. Sean Dennis, nice swing into the double block. Uses all that size. Keeps it vertical, keeps it terminal. Point for the Stingers. Chilton floats, catches the tape, and West catches the court. Nice conversion there from the OC Stunners. 18-16, the 2-point resumes. Well, Noah, now we're really starting to look at about how timeout management starts for the Utah Stingers. I would expect at any point if they get a 3-point lead against them, look for a timeout to get called. Big serve handled well, but Sean Dennis, the bailout option, set might be low, but the optimism is high, as that's a great kill there for the Utah Stingers, down now by just one, and look to Noble Romero to see if he can get a little something special started on the back line.
And things have started to smooth out here after that technical timeout. More trading kills, blocks, and digs back and forth. A little bit of a cleaner game.
Well, you've talked about it all set long. If they can control their serving and not kind of douse their own flames, maybe they can do something a little special here. But Corey Chavers continues to just be absolutely unstoppable and flawless in his offensive contributions. If I'm not mistaken, he's still yet to stat a hitting error.
And that was one of those tricky ones where he showed tip and Reed Chilton crashed, and he pushed it right at his head and went through his hands.
Yep. Just one of many shots in his well-developed toolbox. Back set, Mency. We saw it there. Corey Chavers not quite sure what to do with his hands on the blocking move against Mency, though. Not sure if he wants to pull his hands down or what the read is, and Mency's just eating it up right now. Dennis. Hilling to Roberts to Santiago, point Stunners.
And Santiago, he had the cross wide open, went for the tool instead. I don't know if that was just what he thought was the more successful option, or if it's maybe indicative of how he's been feeling about his confident swing at the moment.
Yeah, couldn't tell if, you know, he reads a diving blocker one-on-one, just wants to challenge that line, but gets the point, and he certainly needed it. He needed that serve in the court as well. 20-19, a 1-point buffer. Well, we are really chasing it now, and like I said, any team gets to that 3-point, that's where you can really expect to see a timeout call if there's a 3-point deficit at any point. Shigikawa takes first ball. Chavers managing swing, one-handed dig by Baugh. Romero dug by Hilling. High ball outside, Chavers into a double, rolls, dug by Baugh. Storm lights up Hilling. Big kill for number 8, 20 apiece.
And Storm has that in him at all times, and that was the first time this match he showed it.
Played his college volleyball at Long Beach City College before transferring to BYU alongside many of his teammates. You can see why right there, a lot of power on that swing. Pass from Hilling, and Shavers returns, says, all right, man, I've been kind of toying around with my food all match. I can put a big swing away too. Nice kill, 21-20. And now Chavers back to serve. See if he can liven up the service line here for the Stunners.
And he's telling his team, what do you need me to do? I'll do it.
With a nice pass, might put the kibosh. He gets the dig, a friendly reset. Shigikawa steps in. Hilling goes for high hands. He gets the call for it. And Russ Holmes says, I touched it. You touched on this earlier during one of our challenges. You can guarantee a challenge was coming through if there was no touch on that play. Stingers, or quick conversation happens between Holmes and Chilton. Says, did you touch it? I didn't touch it. But right there, you know that they did. And Matt Hilling bailed out the rest of the Stunner squad there. We're gonna have a quick timeout. Don't go anywhere as this one concludes right after this. Back courtside with an exciting conclusion about to occur here, 22-20. Stunners battling back. Served by Chavers, but a kill from Storm Fangata Tafunga. Much needed. If they go down by 3 points there, that one might feel like it's all but over, Noah. But now we see the Stingers giving themselves a little bit of life here. Quick set the outside, Hilling takes a big swing and finds some of our camera equipment, gives me a game ball touch. Well, that comes with the territory of when you got one of the best seats in the house. Sometimes you're in harm's way. Matt Hilling putting some pace on that ball, 23-21. Set to Romero, and Romero answers back, 4-4. No libero on the court, leaves Shane Beamer trying to weather that storm and not able to do so.
And now the outsides for the Stingers kind of carrying that offensive power load. Storm and Romero taking the big blows.
They really are, and now we'll see if Russ Holmes is able to, he's been very successful. He's been serving a lot down the line, working Shigikawa in zone 1. We're also seeing Matt Hilling getting attacked in cross court as the front row outside. Curious to see what he opts for here, but he's got to find a true point. Catches Shigikawa. And a free ball over. Can the Stingers convert? They can, 23-23. And just like that, tie ball game. So earlier I gave a little bit of an introduction as far as how a race to 2 kind of works. But this is it right here. The lowest possible score that can occur now is 25-23.
We have a timeout here on the floor by the Stunners. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Well, a much-needed timeout from the OC Stunners to see if they can just kind of calm it down at 23-23. The Stingers have been very disciplined here as they tried to make their late resurgence. Off the tape, handled perfectly. Nice block from the Stingers. And Matt Hilling goes for the line, misses it, doesn't find the hands, and that's a point for the Stingers. And Noah, just like that, 24-23. Can the Stingers come back and steal set number 3?
I mean, this is the moment where you see what these teams are made of. Tied at a set apiece, tied 23-23. Stingers now take the 1-point lead. Coach Matt Prosser debating if he wants to challenge. And his outside Matt Hilling saying, no, I missed that. Don't use it, coach. That honest conversation. I think the challenge was called.
We're getting some clarification right here. So a challenge was called. We're getting a little clarification here. My counterpart, Noah Chass, going to do some investigative reporting. As you see there, we're going to get a quick little bit of...
So Coach Prosser is challenging in out on the call.
So he's saying that he saw it in down the line. Now, this is a bold one because Prosser is basically using, if he loses this one, he's only going to have 1 challenge remaining, but maybe he's trying to slow the game down just a little bit. We don't really know, but there's a lot of gamesmanship that encroaches here.
And I think he knows his team and he knows what's at stake. If they lose this set and go down 1-2, things don't look bright. But on the off chance maybe the camera caught something the eye didn't see and it clipped that line, changes it, makes it a tie, and then all of a sudden there's more to work with as a Stunners team.
And there it is, clear as day. That ball is out. Was it close? Sure, but that's where Matt Hilling said, hey, I missed that one. Good call by our officiating crew. So no dispute there. That one is not going to be overturned, and point will stay with the Utah Stingers, giving them set point here at 24-23 in set number 3. Noah, this is certainly delivering so far. 25-20 in set number 1 for the OC Stunners, 25-22 in set number 2 for the Utah Stingers. And here we are, 25-23 potentially on the line with a Utah Stingers post-20 comeback. You know, they took a haymaker to the jaw, but they have answered brilliantly.
I mean, this has been a back and forth set of both runs and then trading kills and trading digs. It's been kind of all over the place, but it's been exciting to watch, and it's coming to a conclusion right now with the serve.
Russ Holmes, steady as she goes. Out of system are the Stunners. Hilling, no problem, he says. Set me the ball every time. Double blocker, no issue. Sends that one careening off into the stands, and a nice point for the Stunner squad. Bringing us back 24-24.
And that's that experience showing its head right there, knowing the situation, saying, I don't got to bounce this one. Let me just find some hands, get a tool, and reset.
Roberts, the Argentinian to float, leaves the float serve short in the tape. Plenty of words for himself, displeased with that there. Set point once again here for the Utah Stingers. They're going to get another chance. At 25-24, we are in extra innings. Chilton to jump serve. Good pass by Chavers. West dealing the goods out of the middle, 25 apiece. We've had some absolute nail biters going the distance all season long. Question is, are we going to see it here and for how long?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying your overtime volleyball.
Yeah. Hilling now missing serve. The Utah Stingers are given freebie after freebie. They've just got to find a way to capitalize here now on their third set point opportunity. Romero serves. Handled well by Shigekawa. West once again. That right there tells you exactly where Stunners is feeling at their very best. That's 2 passes back-to-back. Shigekawa dropping it on Nacho's head, and Nick West getting the nod. We talked about the presence of the middles early on in set number 3, and now is the return at the most critical point as we're tied up 26 apiece.
And with the game on the line, if they can, they're going to defer to Nick West and Shane Beamer.
Could not agree more. Nick West off speed, handled by Romero. Mincy tip over the top. Dug out of middle back. Beamer misses it out of the tape. Roberts, West, both making the move. I said middle back there, coming out of both wing diggers. Have a nice camera right, blocking that shot, but heroic moves all the same, but effort doesn't count for much when the score goes on the board for the Stingers. Dennis to serve. Tip over the top, easy dig. Dennis to the right side. Does Mincy wipe it? He does, but the hands are steady from Corey Chavers. We talked earlier that he could not figure George Mencia out, and that time he says, "Now, sir, we have done this dance one too many times."
He's adjusted, he's recalibrated. He said, okay, I know what he's trying to do here.
27 apiece. Santiago finds that one in. Storm. Down the line, the big man can't find the defense. The obvious set choice there, a massive size mismatch. Chilton sees the undersized Roberts, number 11, and lets Storm have a field day. Set point number 4 for the Stingers. Mincy goes short, attacking Shigekawa. Overpass. It's kept alive by Chavers. Off the ceiling is good to play. Hilling keeps it alive in a free ball. Easy transition opportunity. And the Stingers take a rip off the chest to Shigekawa. And there it is, 29-27. The biggest swing at the most important moment. Inovo Romero activated out of the pipe. And that's gonna do it. We'll cut to a commercial and be back in just a moment. 29-27, Utah Stingers answer back to take set number 3. Don't go anywhere. Well, after a massive resurgence there in the third set, the Utah Stingers battle back and are able to secure themselves a 2-1 lead in the set count here. If you're just joining us, I'm Nick England, joined by Noah Chast on the sideline, and you're watching the NVA. That's the National Volleyball Association. And we're here on ESPN all weekend long with our championship event. 8 matches coming to you, and this is just the first of many of the quarterfinals. Following this, we're going to see the Texas Tyrants as they take on Orlando Southern Exposure coming in at noon Pacific Standard Time. So after plenty of this exciting volleyball, we got more coming your way, so you don't want to miss out. But getting back into this one, Utah Stingers have had a massive resurgence of energy. The question is, what is driving it? Noah, what are you thinking? Take it away.
Fan club here. We have all of his 4 children. Can you do me a favor and tell me your names?
My name's Nate. I'm Audrey.
Evan.
Luke.
Okay, guys, what is it like to watch your dad out there? And you guys, his dad's taking the lead. How proud of you are of him?
I'm really proud.
Tell me, what does your sign say?
Ridiculous.
I like the pun. It's ridiculous. Do you think your dad and the Stingers will pull this one out and get the win?
Yes.
And what's your favorite part about watching live, exciting volleyball, especially with your dad out there?
Good.
I agree. It's good. It's perfect. Can you guys give me a let's go, Dad?
Let's go, Dad!
And now one more let's go, Stingers.
Let's go, Stingers!
That's the momentum shift right there. Nick, I'll send it back to you.
And that is the heartwarming message behind every great volleyball player, a support system. So thankful to have all the families, loved ones, friends that are supporting all of our athletes all over the country as we put this production on this weekend. Great to see Chilton's children out here, supporting the Swarm. They've been loud and rowdy all season long. Their summer, I'm sure, is about to wrap up. So maybe a great little conclusion to a fun summer here on this Friday morning as they watch Dad take it to the OC Stunners and maybe steal this match away here at a 2-point set lead. Taking a quick look out on the court, we're not seeing, there will be an adjustment, and that is going to see, it looks like Antonio Anguizzola. No, he's still on the sideline. This is the substitution we talked about. Nick West will be likely moving to the right side, bringing in a new middle blocker out of Penn State, number 12, Kevin Gear. When you've got your back against the wall, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Coach Matt Prosser not letting the team go down here in 4 straight sets without trying something different.
And I totally support and understand the move. In my mind, I was thinking maybe you do a serving substitution if you're comfortable with that. Take one more element out of Jair Santiago's game and mental basket he has to handle, but he's going with the complete substitution for now and to see how this lineup does for them. And if anything, Nick West is not a downgrade on the right side. He can play anywhere on this court.
He certainly can, and when we contextualize this a bit, there's 12 hitting errors on the side of the Stunners, 8 for Santiago, 4 for Hilling. Santiago has 8 errors, 7 points. He is negative right now in terms of his offensive contributions. I think this is a great move by Prosser. Got to find something new. No surprise on the side of the Utah Stingers that they're keeping the same lineup, getting everything resolved over here technically, and it's time to get back into the action. Reed Chilton hearing his children's battle cries, go Stingers, as he gets underway with an aggressive serve that gets the overpass and a free point for George Mencia.
I think, the cheers of his children definitely powered that float serve to be right where it needed to go.
I can't be told otherwise, so if anyone disagrees, I don't want to hear it.
Get your science out of here. We know what happened.
Ridiculous. Big swing from the outside, coming over into the sideline. Executive producer Howard Ouellette getting a nice hug there from Mencia as they track that one down. We're still recovering from the last swing where Hilling sent the ball over to visit me on the sideline here. They're trying to run it back already. 1-1, Matt Hilling here to serve. Leaves that one short. Matt Hilling there. That's going to be his 6th serving error, matching Jair Santiago. Right now, the majority, if not all of the errors are really being attributed offensively to both Hilling and Santiago. Hilling also scoring quite well, so they don't have many choices but to keep him there and, continue to rely on him. But he's contributing very well, passing at a 69%. If you're approaching that 70%, that's where you're in system perfectly at a 70% clip. That's what you expect to see. So Hilling, great in the serve receive line. They can manage some of his errors here as the team battles this one out. Romero waves Chilton off to take second ball, but a triple block sends it back and gets the Stunners a free ball. West dug by Romero on his first swing. Storm with a nice gather step out of system. And Sean Dennis bests Shane Beamer. The UC Irvine Anteater takes down Beamer in the one-on-one with a commit block, protecting zone 5.
And we're seeing Dennis a little more all business than we typically see him. He's a guy that can have a lot of passion and excitement after a big block like that. But I think he knows the stakes, and he's saying, all right, that's what I do. That's what I do.
Business as usual, like next point. And the next point is a float serve from him, but a good pass. Chavers a little late there. Dennis with the dig. Storm with the hammer. And right now, the body language between these two teams tells a story as old as time. All smiles, all business, Stingers get it done.
And one thing I love about the intricacies of volleyball, little on-court presence, and we talked about the communication earlier, Reed Chilton just pushing the Olympian Russ Holmes out of his way, straight up saying, move, I have to set this ball, and it's no issue. They all know it's part of the game.
Yeah, two of the older guys, if I'm not mistaken, Chilton coming in at, I believe, 38 years old, and Russ Holmes at 39, if I'm not mistaken on those numbers. If I am, gentlemen, apologies, you can correct me later. But they were teammates at BYU in their time there, so good to see them make their return to the court all these years later. And a tip over the top. Right now, Reed Chilton, he was missing some locations during that second set, a little bit early on in the third set. He's wasting no time. His set selection is perfect. He's finding the right locations, and the Stunners feel all out of sorts, down by 2.
And Nick, that's the triple threat play. You see the middle coming for 1, you adjust to that. Then you see the back row, you adjust for that. But then the back row tips it, and it's just your third read as a defender.
Yep. But there's a block net violation by Russ Holmes. Point for the Stunners. And right now, it feels like Corey Chavers has to be the answer. Nick West is adjusting mid-match to playing right side, completely different tempo. Not sure how much he's hit off of Roberts, so they've got to find that connection quick. Holmes throws that one down, and Chavers not able to find the dig. Perfect pass? Maybe not, but Chilton knows how to connect with his middles no matter the situation. 6-4 with Storm to serve. Once again, goes for that spin hybrid. Hilling covered by Shane Beamer. A bump set, and Chavers spins that one over. Holmes now wheeling and dealing in the middle. Don't need to swing hard when you can swing smart.
And the Stingers exactly where they want to be, in control, having fun, knowing the pace of the game is dictated by them and them alone.
Yeah, you couldn't be more right. They are absolutely dictating the speed on this one. Easy dig, Holmes in transition. Beamer says no touch.
And that's one of those sets just a little bit missed, a little off-placed by Reed Chilton, but he's been pretty much money the last couple sets in the beginning of this set up until that point.
Yeah, and you kind of work your way in through it's a bit of a system of confidence. When you feel like you can do no wrong, test some of those riskier, harder sets, especially if you've got a lead. I like the set selection from Chilton, definitely keeping Russ Holmes in his eye. And goes right back to him with great reason, number 12, delivering the goods.
And that just shows the confidence in yourself and your middle. Say, we just missed a connection, doesn't matter. I'm gonna go right back to you with the same thing and correct what we wronged.
A lot of confidence going right back to him. And now Holmes to serve. Taken by Shigikawa. Stunners try to find it, but a low set to gear for his first swing of the match. And West swinging on the D ball, able to best the triple block of the Stingers. Finds a point there at a critical moment. Roberts to float. Easy pass, easy set, Storm. Oh, it was dug, ball was not down. The rally continues, and Noble throws that one down, read by Roberts. Shigikawa to Hilling, double block, And that forces Hilling wide, trying to find that 4-4. Sean Dennis is penetrating over the net so far. There is no angle in sight for him there.
Not at all, but I mean, just got to give a quick shout out. Guess who do you think got that dig? Mr. Consistency for the Sunners, Corey Chavers, and miraculous dig, but didn't get the point. I'm trying to get all the words out, but I'm so mesmerized by the defense.
I love that, and I love to see Kevin Gear get involved. I got to poke fun as someone that's already tripping on words all morning long. Lots of exciting volleyballs got me a little bit tongue-tied as we're waking up here for the first match of the day. Matt Hilling off the tape. Good pass from Romero. Romero gets the set. Romero gets the kill. Stingers are in full effect right now, and this is why they were the dark horses coming into this weekend. Had a bit of a quiet season. They've managed to find their wins where they need them with a variety of rosters. But now, with the full squad in full effect, this is a scary, scary team. Gear gets set, Gear delivers, wasting no time. Love to see that comp.
Just to interrupt real quick, in a couple of the post-game interviews I've done with these Stingers, especially Jorge Mencia after a loss, I asked him what went wrong. And he told me, looked me right in my eye, he said, we'll be fine. Once we get to the finals or the playoffs, we'll be okay. We know who we are. We just need all of our guys.
Well, there it is. They have all their guys, but right now, the scariest block in the gym, perhaps. Any outside's nightmare. Nick West and Shane Beamer next to each other. Oh, goodness, that keeps you up at night. And there it is, delivers a nice terminal block. The Rainbow Warrior squaring up alongside the UCS Detroit. A little bit of sweat getting cleaned up, getting back into the action here now as Kevin Gear looks to serve. Float taken by Baugh, perfect pass. Sean Dennis uses all that height, sends it long, but overturned immediately. Now the Sunners have to have a difficult conversation. Do they want to blow that challenge? Jair Santiago on the bench, as well as Antonio Anguzola confirms that ball's in. Do not waste the resources right now. Believe that the officiating crew did what they needed to and got the right call. Dennis putting some pace on a ball. 50-50, Russ Holmes says, waiter, check please. We're taking this one to the bank. Shigikawa with the pass. Chavers tries to wipe, but no one home. Mencia steady as she goes. Nice corral there back into the court for number 9. And the Stingers are just in complete control physically and emotionally at 13-9. Coach Matt Prosser trying to figure out if it's time to call a timeout. And I can guarantee if the Stingers get this point, it will be that time.
And it's only a 4-point game, but the energy feels like it's a 10-point lead. But giving the Stunners a prayer with the footfall.
Conversation right now. Coach Russ Holmes called over. We're going to have a quick discussion here. So what happened there is, I believe the actual number, I don't know the last time this was actually called. I believe it's 8 seconds from the point of ref initiation. This is something that has been changing with other leagues. VNL use kind of what we call a shot clock, the Volleyball Nations League, but we're still on a standard 8-second, I believe is the correct length to serve from the point of whistle blow. So the Stingers not having ball in hand, they're penalized for it. As Nick West putting some pace on it and see if he can get the Stunners going once again. And a huge block, George Mencia throws it out like a LeBron James move there. Lets him know.
He
2 back-to-back blocks.
Out the LeBron James celebration, tap the chest, push it down, and send it straight down with that block.
Drop short, Shigikawa gets a low pass, and Chavers doesn't want any more of that smoke, so he rolls it over the top, finds a hole, and takes it. And he's gonna head to the back line now to serve. Down by 3, 11-14.
And what's great about this sport of volleyball is it's so quick. Moments after the LeBron celebration, the ball landing right in front of Jorge Mencia, sort of bringing him back down to earth for a second.
Chavers gets a hold of that one, unfortunately sends it into the bottom of the net. The pressure and the feeling of needing to win the game really coming in there. Storm's been so steady with that hybrid float. Hailing now best Reed and Holmes getting the kill. Shane Beamer so far with 13 serving attempts, 1 point, no errors at the end of the third set. We'll have to see if he's able to continue that good juju from the back line, or if he's gonna follow up just like Chavers with the serving error. Keeps it safe, but in system means that Holmes gets a swing. Doug Holmes mismanages, and that's gonna be called over by Chilton. And as long as any part of the ball is over the net, it's fair play there for Chilton. So for that point to be called for the Stunners, that means the ball had completely crossed the plane of the net, was now completely over the Stunners side, and he took advantage by touching the ball there. So point for the Stunners, they catch a break.
Like he was just trying to help out a little bit of a missed pass by his middle, Russ Holmes.
And now Baugh catches a cable running through the ceiling there. Mency free ball's over, taking out Hilling. Chavers swings lefty and gets rewarded for it. And just like that, Stunners are starting to get a little bit of momentum, and the OC tide is starting to change.
And sometimes throwing in that lefty just changes off the rhythm and the timing of what you're expecting as that blocker, and it can just sneak through because you're expecting it to be hit from the other side of the body.
Float from Beamer once again. Another good pass. Romero a touch early, but manages well on his approach line, finds the corner, and that's gonna be our technical timeout at 16-14. Is this gonna be it in 4 straight sets, or can the Stunners weather the storm? We'll find out right after this. Don't go anywhere. Time to get back into the action here. A brief technical timeout at 16-14. The Utah Stingers with a 2-point lead over the OC Stunners and a 2-1 set count. This is not what the scorebooks would have told you was going to happen here, but the veterans on the side of the Utah Stingers definitely not ready to be counted out and hoping to play a long weekend of volleyball after making the trip out here from Utah. If you're just joining us, I'm Nick England, joined by Noah Chast on the sideline. Been covering this one for you all morning long, while our counterpart Ira Thor is working in transition currently, and he'll be here this afternoon. Also, Matt Prosser, coaching the OC Stunners, will be getting back into the desk action after this, so we can look forward to seeing him here. Russ Holmes ready to bring us the action. Good pass from Shigikawa, but a low set means it's poked over and a free ball chance. Hilling has 2 hands in front of him. Easy deflection, nice tempo set there. But another tip to recycle, and now Hilling battles off the blocker. A lot of opportunities taken by the outsides on both teams, trying to kind of wait for that set. If they don't see it, they're recycling the ball. That means using the hands and giving themselves a chance to see another point.
And that's something young players often don't do as much, as they just try and swing hard to the floor every set. And sometimes you need to recycle it, know the set's not exactly where you want it, and make a smart, calculated move as to where you're placing that ball with control.
It really is, and that's the stuff you learn as you get to this level that many college players aren't even as familiar with. It's really that next level skill that makes you a great player. Chilton opts to go to a float serve from his normal jump serve here, and Chavers brings the hammer. A little bit of emotion too. Normally someone that is pretty quiet on the court and likes to just get the job done, showing a little bit of emotion there.
He's looking at his teammates and saying, help me. I'm carrying us through this thing, and I will not let us lose.
I got the team on my back, and Stunners are not out of the woods yet. A dig from Hilling. Chavers tries to track that one down. We have some rules that you're able to pursue the ball so long as it goes in through the, or out through the antenna, and you bring it back outside the antenna. So nothing there that Chavers is able to do, but showing his teammates, hey man, I'm here to support you. I'm gonna make that move and see what we can get done. 18-16, Noble Romero. Big serve, nice pass. Middle to Kevin Gear, bounces that one with a nice cut back there. Zone 1-2 splits the seam. Nobody home for the power from the Nittany Lion, number 12.
Yeah, Kevin Gear, an alumnus of my school as well, Penn State Nittany Lions. I think we shared about a year of crossover time there.
Tip over the top. Nick West sets a little bit of a screen there. Nacho trying to get around him. Sean Dennis, 2 points, 19-17. Good pass, quick low set. Storm shuts down West. And is the sun setting on the Stunners season here? A team, the longest standing team in the NVA. They've been in the league since its inception in 2017. Looking a bit rattled and out of sorts. Coach Matt Prosser, see if he can get his guys settled down. But don't go anywhere. We're gonna have a quick timeout break. We'll be right back. Well, a good timely timeout there from the Stunners. The question is it enough to cool the Jets, recalibrate, reorient, and get re-involved in this game? Chavers high set, touched by Mencia. Tall man Sean Dennis not able to find that one. Like you said earlier, a bit of a tree in the woods. Down he goes.
Yes, he does, and up Chavers when he was just floating on that ball. Looked like he was elevating in the air, finding the best arm to tool that swing off of.
18-20, Stingers in that race to 5. Always one of those mental check marks in the game. Can you get to 20? But Nick West, we haven't seen as much pressure, I would say, from him on the service line, or maybe the yield that we would expect. He's been serving aggressively and well, but Stingers have been handling it well. So see if he can get something going, but roll shot over the top, gets a hold of West. The craftiness of the Stingers right now really showcasing how much versatility they have. In years past, this team has had Jake Langlois, who's transferred to the Texas Tyrants. And now with the first season without him, Storm wasting no time to showcase that he's more than capable of stepping in. Touch off the block, and Noble gets caught a little shallow in the backcourt. And George Mencia and Noble Romero having some fun change of words. The young Noble Romero knows that that wasn't exactly where he wanted to be, but maybe catching something back there, and a little check. I don't know if he banged a toe up, maybe caught his ankle. He's just gonna stretch that one out. Maybe also a little bit of gamesmanship here. Hard to know exactly what's going on. 19-21 though, as Corey Chavers gets ready to go back and serve. a 2-point deficit here for the Stunners.
You certainly leap for that ball, so maybe something on either the takeoff or the landing in that knee leg area.
Doesn't waste any time with that pass, though. Mincy reaches off the shoulder of Shigekawa. Make sure he's good through the net. Wow, he flew for that. That was almost a 5-ball in the front row. Quite the impressive back row swing from Mincy.
Yeah, so folks at home, that was a back row attack. He took off behind the 3-meter, 10-foot line, but he landed right at the net.
Yeah. Storm's float continues, and Hilling answers back. The outsides from the Stunners trying to put together a run right now, but unfortunately, they've got a deficit they have to overcome. And right now, this 2 points has been a 2-point deficit since the technical timeout at 16-14. They've not been able to really close that gap since then. Beamer to float. Good pass. And Romero swings. Kevin Gear continues making a difference off the bench. A massive block there, shutting down Romero on the outside. 21-22. Can Stunners find it? Can they get a little bit of energy and send us the full distance to go see set number 5?
And that's the benefit of having depth and also versatility, being able to move your all-star middle to the right side, bring in a very experienced middle in Kevin Gear who can get kills and get blocks and really bring some energy to the Stunners team fighting for life.
Out of system, triple block, swings wide, disciplined. Wow, the OC Stunners make a blocking exchange there. Nacho Roberts normally would block right front. They don't want the smaller blocker, so Matt Hilling goes to the outside. Hilling and Gear together putting up a very well-formed double block, and they get the timeout forced out of the Stingers. 22-22. I'm on the edge of my seats. I'm sure you are at home as well. Don't go anywhere. This one is gonna deliver. We'll be right back. Well, 22-22 Utah Stingers, they have to take that timeout. I think at this point they're hoping they can kind of just recenter themselves, but they need a pass to be able to get them off of the, from behind the pressure here of Shane Beamer. He's been doing a great job all match long with the serves. And there it is, the ace. He catches libero Chandler Baugh with a point to give the Stunners a lead for the first time in almost 19 points at 23-22. Shane Beamer, can he do more?
And during that timeout, Mency looking at Chandler Baugh and his team and saying, pass, pass. That's all we need is a pass. And Shane Beamer saying, okay, pass this.
Yeah, here you go. Got a little something extra. Stunners are not down and out just yet. Look for Hilling to move to the right once again to block Romero. They go to Holmes, dug by West. Beamer's not able to keep that alive, but a massive 3-point run on the back of Shane Beamer, giving his boys a bit of life. Matt Prosser gives him the nod and says, hey, heck of a run. Way to give us something to work with. But Holmes wants to take this one back on his terms. Gets the overpass from Shigekawa, but it's lost by Romero, and Nacho Roberts sends it back. Freebie given back with a freebie, a critical error, and just like that, the OC Stunners are on set point at 24-23. Do you believe it? Nacho gets Baugh. Romero's dug, opportunity to score. Nick West, double block, over the top. Mincy pokes it back. West takes the first ball. Outside to Hilling. Hilling tough, over the top. It goes down. It's kept alive. Ball was pancaked. Another opportunity, back row. Corey Chavers. That's what legends are made of. 25-23, Corey Chavers. OC Stunners take set number 4 to come back against the wall. We're going the distance, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with set number 5 on the way. Don't go anywhere. And in a set number 4 that absolutely delivered, the OC Stunners backs against the wall. They showcase their ability to get out there and get the job done, all on the back of middle blocker Shane Beamer, who's able to string together a great set of serving runs, gets that ace on libero Chandler Baugh out of the timeout at 22-22. And from that moment on, OC Stunners flip the switch, all on the back of a bit of a coin flip call from coach Matt Proster as he benches Jair Santiago on the right side, moves middle blocker Nick West to the right, brings in cold off the bench Kevin Gear, who contributed efficiently all set long. And that's what veteranship is all about. Who can you use? You might be shorthanded on the bench, but find a way and problem solve. And the Stunners do it there. Now we look across the side at the Stingers. They lost the handle on that, but it really didn't look like much of a team breakdown other than the fact that they were struggling to find consistent passing. We heard it from Noah on the sideline. They were saying, George Mencia, number 9, he said, guys, just pass the ball. I need a pass. You get me a pass, I'll get you a kill. Unfortunately, not able to do so means the OC Stunners kick the door wide open. We're going to 5 sets. This is going to be a race to 15, win by 5. Both these teams taking the court back. We'll see if they've got any roster adjustments, but if I was a betting man, I would not expect to see any. And here we are, taking a quick look. No adjustments, no surprise.
And Nick, the desperation meter has completely flipped sides right now in that last few points of that set. Afterwards, some of the Stingers players frustrated, throwing ball carts, getting in each other's faces, not aggressively, but just angry that they had it and it slipped through their hands. And Russ Holmes and Mency having to reassure their team, hey, this is still our game. This is still us. Let's calm down. We were right there. We just have to do it again and finish. And on the side of the Stunners, they were just granted, a new awakening, a gift at life. And all they need to do is get 15 points now. All the problems of this past 4 sets do not matter if you come out hot and take this quick one.
That's what's so fun about volleyball compared to other sports. There's always an end line. Other sports, how much can you do in the time allotted? In volleyball, you gotta find a way to put the 15 points on the board. And here we are to see if the OC Stunners can problem solve in real time. Hilling with the jump, targeting Baugh, and a middle to Dennis. Dug, but not enough. Middle, Sean Dennis gets the kill early. Another quick note here, since we're in the 5th set, regardless of how many challenges either team brought into this, Stunners had 1, Stingers still had 3, if I'm not mistaken. Both teams now have only 1. Same rules apply. If you get it right, you get to keep it. So we want to keep an eye on that game within the game. Corey Chavers swings lefty. Good transition opportunity for the Stingers, but an even better opportunity for a middle blocker duo of Kevin Gear and Nick West.
And Nick, this 5th set is really where you see what teams are made of. Past championships don't matter. The regular season does not matter. These previous 4 sets don't matter. Their season is on the line in a quick race to 15, and we'll see which team really and truly has it in them for the full match.
Sean Dennis getting involved. That's 2 kills for the big man, and he is playing a fun game of tag with that back line. Sometimes you see guys try to get so aggressive and bounce the ball because that's fun to watch, but he uses all that height. Trajectory says if he swings deep, no one in the league is gonna touch him. Big swing from the angle, dug by Chilton off a deflection of the block. Mency blocked, covered, but nobody home. And the blocking prowess of the OC Stunners might have been absent all match long. But if you need a time to flip the switch, now is that time. West to serve. Handled by Baugh. To Storm, chiseled. Tried to be kept alive, but West finds that one outside his body. And the crafty Storm Fatungata Tapunga rewarded there.
And Nick West, not a bad defender, but playing a position outside of his normal rotation, so something the Stingers might want to try and take advantage of a little bit more.
Mency with a float, targeting Shigikawa. Oh my goodness, one-on-one, Corey Chavers, Reed Chilton. You're taking Chavers 100 times out of 100. 4-4, easy kill for number 6. And there it is, down the line, Corey Chavers. He's been keeping the team in it all match long. And just like that, finds the sideline. Another serve out of system. Romero's gonna free ball it over. Stunners ready for an opportunity. To the back row of Chavers. Storm covers himself. Chilton, free ball over. Another chance. And another chance for Chavers to score, and score he does. The man on fire. Number 6 might be 6 on his jersey, but number 1 on the hearts of Stunners fans everywhere watching as they're hoping for this 5-3 lead to continue extending on the back of Chavers' efforts.
And Chavers, he's playing out there with a giant backpack with the word Stunners on it because he's putting the team on his back.
Off the ceiling, chaos ball. Storm swings high and deep, but Chavers reads it. Hilling gets a chance. Hilling misses that chance. Well, this is gonna get interesting. So a touch was called, but Matt Hilling was in the net while the ball was still live. So that ball is live until it hits the court. It could be, or until it hits the ground. You could be, you know, an entire zip code away, but the net technically still counts there. So Stingers didn't see what I got to because I had that front row seat, unfortunately, but they're gonna call a timeout. 3-6, down by 3. Are Stunners ready to wake up and take this win? We'll find out right after this. Don't go anywhere. Well, a much needed timeout from the Utah Stingers. So we're gonna see if that was enough to get them calmed down. They've got some time here, but they need to get their momentum going in their direction right now. Corey Chavers started this run with an ace cross court to the zone 1 sideline in front of Chandler Baugh. He's continued pressure since then. Can he get one more out of the timeout? Nice pass, Stingers where they want to be, but so is the Stunners block. That's the 3rd terminal block. Shane Beamer, Kevin Gear, get your dinner, boys. It's time to eat.
And the Stunners playing with that swagger back that they do so well when they're on. They're smiling, they're getting blocks. They can feel the energy is on their side.
And there it is, an ace. Corey Chavers is a man among children right now with this serving pressure. He cannot be touched. And at 8 points, no timeout. That just means it's time to switch sides of the court, making sure that there is no home court advantage, as it were. These two teams will shift sides. We're going to get right back into the action. And right now, the action is all on the back of number 6, Corey Chavers, as he tries to win this match by himself. 8-3. Noah, my concern for the Stingers is that this might now be an insurmountable deficit to overcome with the time left on the clock.
It's reaching that point, Nick. I mean, a 5-point deficit in a 15-point game. Very hard to climb back from that.
Battled with by Romero, set to the outside. Hilling battles through the double block up high. Number 18 punches that one through. 9-3. Well, right now, the 9-3 scoreboard does not tell the story that has been 4 nail-biter sets. Instead, it looks like an OC Stunners team that came to play, and they want to go the distance. Chavers, third ace of the service run. Third time acing Chandler Baugh, and the third time he's hit that sideline. If you think there is an aggravation mounting on the side of the Utah Stingers, take a look at the fact that George Mencia just stepped into the serve-receive line as the 4th passer. Utah Stingers going to take a timeout at 10-3 for understandable reasons. We're going to be right back to see if the OC Stunners lock it down and punch their ticket to tomorrow. Stay tuned. And right now, 10-3 on the back of Corey Chavers. Absolutely going off and just too much to handle for the Utah Stingers. We'll see if he can continue. This is the second timeout that's been called in an attempt to slow him down. Out of system. Can Storm manage the triple block? He has to tip, but read and dug by West. And Hilling unloads into Baugh. Chilton tracks it down, he gets the touch, brought back. Shigikawa takes first, Chavers takes third, gets the touch, and that's a point. Short serve, there it is, the 4th ace. If you want to see what a takeover performance is, this might be one of the single-handedly greatest sets in NVA history. Watching Corey Chavers beat the Stingers by himself and misses that serve, but my gosh, you can't end that run with anything but smile on your face. That was absolutely insane. 12-4. Storm has a mountain to climb right now. Hilling looks for a touch, doesn't see it, and the disciplined block of the Stingers gets them a point here that they so desperately needed. 5-12. Stunners are approaching that ever solid end line at 15. 13-5 right now. And there it is, another ace. This is an emotional tale as old as time. The Stunners back against the wall, feeling a little bit down and out, but enough experience to battle through. And this just might be it. Match point here, 14-15. OC Stunners, they want to play at least 2 more days of volleyball with 1 more point. Beamer leaves it short. Olympian Russ Holmes, with all eyes on him, a nigh impossible task. An attempt to summit Everest, and misses that serve. That'll do it. 15-6. The OC Stunners have absolutely overcome what felt like an insurmountable task in front of them. They get the win in a massive effort there, in a huge win in a match that lasted 2 hours and 17 minutes. The OC Stunners are victorious, taking down the Utah Stingers in 5 sets. And I don't think there's any debate that that is solely on the back of outside hitter Corey Chavers, absolutely putting on a clinic. When everything mattered most in the 5th set, he put on a clinic on the serving line. Back-to-back aces, multiple aces in 1 run, and that was just absolutely insane. No doubt about it, Corey Chavers, the man of the match there. We're gonna see if he's available for comment, but if we aren't able to hear from Corey, we'll definitely get someone over here from the Stunners, so stay tuned. Definitely want to hear what those guys have to say. There was a lot of confidence coming in before that match, but man, they have absolutely delivered here. And that's gonna mean that Matt Prosser, myself, and Ira Thor are correct on the predictions, taking the Stunners there. And that's gonna be a tough call there for Noah Chass, as he's incorrect. But we're gonna go to Noah on the sideline with the setter, Nacho Roberts. Take it away.
Nacho coming in first time setting, starting with the offense, and you guys pulled out in 5. I mean, walk through your emotions during that roller coaster.
Yeah. It was my first team, my first match with the Stunners, so it was so difficult. Also, the other team was so good, but we had the luck to win, so happy and waiting for tomorrow.
Yeah, tell me about your teammate Corey Chavers carrying the team through those first 4 sets, then go on an insane service run to pretty much seal the deal. I mean, what can you say about him?
He did a very good match. He helped the team to win, and that's the important thing.
How big is a win like this where you're down and you come back and you win it? How big is that heading into now the semifinals tomorrow?
It's so big, so big. So now we have to put the head in tomorrow, thinking the semifinals, so we're going there.
Congratulations on the win. You're heading to the semis. How's that feel?
Thank you. So great, so great. Thank you so much, so good.
Nacho stepping in and setting, doing a great job. And I mean, that man, Corey Chavers, just doing everything for his team. Kills, blocks, digs, and of course a service run to pretty much put this 5th set out of reach. He's our man of the match. Nick, I'll send it back to you to wrap things up. What an incredible start to this championship weekend.
Well, that's certainly as good as it gets. Great to hear a little bit from Nacho there as he makes his season debut. Certainly wastes no time getting the Stunners to the next level. Now, it is worth noting, a win today for all of these teams guarantees them 2 more matches, because even a loss in the semifinals means that they will play on Sunday for a 3rd place match. So to make sure that their weekends are not wasted, every team definitely battling to get a win here today, so that they're going to play a lot of volleyball this weekend. That was an exciting one, and up next, we're going to have at noon Pacific Standard Time, we're going to see the Texas Tyrants take on the Orlando Southern Exposure. Another great match to be sure, and we've got 3 more matches coming your way today. So for Noah Chast on the sideline, I'm Nick England. We've been coming to you live from the San Bernardino at the Pierce Sports Center. You just watched the exciting conclusion of the OC Stunners taking down the Utah Stingers in 5 sets. Your set count there, 25-20. 22-25, 27-29, 25-23, and a brilliant performance by Corey Chavers to win at 15-6 in a 5th set nail biter. That's going to do it for us. Like I said, we'll be back here at noon Pacific Standard, and everything is coming to you live all weekend long on ESPN. If you missed the match, be sure to check it out in the archive on the ESPN app. This has been a production from NVA and ESPN. Plenty more volleyball coming your way this weekend. Don't miss out.